Okay, let's try this again. Fingers crossed you can hear me. And fingers crossed you'll be able to see me in 3, 2, 1. Hey, that looks like I can see me, which means hopefully you guys can see me too. What on earth was going on with Twitch? And actually, I don't even think it was Twitch. I think it was OBS. That was wild. Like, I was sat here like 10 minutes before going live, like everything's sorted, system checks all good, press the go live button and everything breaks. How are we all? Hello, 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 hello. How are we? How are we? How are we? I hope you're all doing good. Sorry for the chaotic start of stream. It is, it's never going to be easy sometimes, is it? And it is stressful. Oh. That was it. The Gremlins in the system, 100%. No idea what happened. Rebooted the computer, everything was fine. I have no idea. Maybe we need a new computer. How are we all doing though, folks? I hope we are doing good. Hello, 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 hello. Hope we are all doing well. Rusty, how are we doing? I hope you're doing well. How are we doing? Verity, hello to you. Hello, hello, hello. Sanjuro, welcome on in. How are we? I hope you're doing good. I saw that Scrot redeemed dad jokes strangely when the microphone wasn't working right, but that was last stream technically, right? Right? Misfit, hello and welcome to you. How are you doing? And congratulations on your weight loss journey. That's awesome. Congratulations. I definitely need to lose some weight. I am technically at this moment in time the heaviest I've ever been, which is never a comfortable place to be sometimes. Newbie, welcome on in. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Hello, hello, hello. Super Weasel, hello to you. How are we? And Solo Tear, hello to yourself as well. And if anyone who I missed in the reset of stream, let me know. I hope you're good. Super Weasel's like, no, I'm here this time to turn off the dad jokes. But hello everybody. How are we? I have no idea what went on. I was like sat ready, just like, I'm gonna get ready for a stream, I'm gonna get ready for a stream. And then just on the stream went, ha, I think not. But yes, how are we all? I hope you're doing good. Are we ready and excited? It is, of course, the watch-along preview stream where we are going to be watching the live unboxing of the Armageddon box set, which is the new launch box for 11th edition, or 10.5 or whatever they're calling it, all these various things, which is going to be exciting. We're going to be watching that. That kicks off at 7 PM, so not long at all to go. Fingers crossed for a cardboard dreadnought, the classic cardboard dreadnought, of course. That's what it's going to be, right? No, we need the classic cardboard. But yes, but in the meantime, what we are going to tinker and deal with is we're going to chat about what we're thinking is going to be in the box, and of course, as well, yeah, we're going to do, hopefully this will work for transition over to here. We might see some of the bases that we've been working on. There we go. Hi, everybody. You're doing great. How are we? How are we? How are we? But yes, these are the marble bases that we have been working on. The gloss varnish and stuff on it is now completely dry. This is the glass Mod Podge. I'm pretty happy with these marble bases. Pretty happy. But yeah, I hope we're all doing good. We gotta get, now we're at the point where we can actually stick the first custody to the base. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. But yeah, I hope we are all doing well. I predict that the new launch box will have Space Marines. Could you imagine if they didn't? Like, hey, no Space Marines for you. And people would be like, what? The outrage that would happen would be so funny. And everyone would be like, well, this is what you wanted. Oh, how are we, Rasmus? I hope you're well. Bank holiday weekend, feeling good. Doing some work on my deep ones. I'm going to make sure to make some props for the tabletop RPG at UK Games Expo. Nice, that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to Games Expo. I mean, I look forward to it every year, but I'm looking forward to it this year. I feel like I'm kind of making an effort to kind of do a lot more chatting, seeing people, networking a little bit. You know, I'm going to enter the painting competition, so I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. Wait, is this the one preview where I can't say squats? I mean, you never know. You never know. Looking marvelous. Thank you very much. I'm panicking now. I move in 3 weeks' time, and I'm away on a work trip next week, so less time to get ready. You got this, newbie. Newbie, I believe in you. You're gonna lock in. I can sense it. You're gonna lock in, and you're gonna get it done. I'm locking minds with you. You're gonna do this. I'm sending you the positive vibes. Sending you the positive vibes. Look. I'm sending you. There's gonna be. There you go. None of this. No stress. Only love. No stress. Only love. Okay, that's what you've got. And then once you've done got through the love, there's gonna be the excitement of moving to a new place. That's what we got, right? Okay. Visual cues. Oh, you got this. Let's get Death Corps of Krieg instead. Death Corps of Krieg, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if at some point they did like Astra Militarum as a start set. It would be interesting to see. Yes, I was still trying to cover from skin effect. Oh, sorry to hear that, Solo Tear. Oh, bless you. That's never fun. Hopefully, you're on the road to recovery. We're going to be busy UK Games Expo this year. Will be amazing, but not get to see everything. Yeah, I feel like the first one I ever went to, I worked it. Was when they were doing the Age of Sigmar trading card game, and I worked it there. Then a couple of others, like I've been to just for like 1 day, maybe 2 days. So this year, I'm gonna, if I can, I want to try and hit all 3 days and just do it as a much more leisurely approach. I tend to normally avoid the Saturday because it's carnage, but I don't know this year. I might do it. I mean, I love the stress emoji. You know what? This is me this week. This is me 100% because of the because of this week. I mean, Wednesday we didn't stream on Wednesday because we had to evacuate the building, which was a little bit intense. That was 100% me. I came home, smelled gas, thought, let's open all the windows. Maybe it'll dissipate. It did not. Turned out, good job I did call the gas company and get the buildings evacuated. Because not only did I have to evacuate, they had to evacuate about 6 flats in total. The ones in our building and the ones adjacent, because they were so concerned. So it was a slightly stressful day. It was slightly stressed. It was me 100%. I was like, oh. And then start this stream much more like. It's been a weird one, but yes. Where come on this one? Update on my Discworld reading adventure. I finished Equal Rights last night. I give it ook out of 10. I feel, unfortunately, I'm going to disappoint you here, Rusty. I have never read the Discworld books, and they're not on my reading list. They're not on my current reading list either. Not for any reason than the fact that they're just not on the list. So yes, alas. I feel there's much disappointment coming from you. I can sense it. I can sense it on this one. Let's just checking to make sure I've got the window tabs open, ready to go. Who's live in the Warhammer section? We got this. We're gonna get this done. I can sense it. But yes. There we go. Well, you need to read them. A lot of people have told me to read them, to be fair. Quite a lot of people have told me to read them. I've got such an incredibly large backlog of books for it. But yeah, there's many things on there. I'll get to them eventually. I think the warranted stress, though, one random spark is a panic. That's the thing. That's what the guy was saying. When the gas engineer was here and he took out his little detector, he put it through the letterbox of one of the flats because they didn't answer the door. And he lifted the letterbox on the flat directly below me. And the radar, I don't know what was more shocking. The fact that the detector went whoop, or I saw him go white as a sheet. He just looked at me and was like, please evacuate the building, get your family out, knock on all the neighbours, get them outside. I need to call people in. Please leave. And he was like, quick as a flash, everything was isolated, everything was done, and the concern was like there was no way for this gas to get out of the building, the flat that was at the bottom of the building, which was so stressful. So I was like, whoa. It was a wild one. Newbie is looking forward to my setup, my new hobby room, and taking my first trip to Warhammer World. Hell yes, Warhammer World's great because they do a lot of good events and a lot of painting stuff as well. So they'll do like midweek painting workshops. So if you find yourself with an evening off, trundle on over. It'd be dangerous if I was closer to Warhammer World. I'd be there all the time. Sticker has been me the last hour. Started cleaning leftover sprues after clipping. Cut myself. Spilled cola on a pile of plastic. Put in a mini for paint stripping. Dropped the mug it was placed in. And now I'm sitting lightheaded and taking it as a sign to not do any more hobbing. Oh, Johan, bless you. That definitely warrants the sticker. There it is. That definitely warrants the sticker. Oh, sir, no, bless you. There you go. But yes. Oh. But yes, it's definitely a stressful day, bless you. Warhammer preview watch along the stream title. It is indeed, Luna. There is a Warhammer preview today. They are going to be demonstrating the entire box of Armageddon and opening it live. We're going to be doing the watch along. It kicks off in 25 minutes, which I'm very, very excited for. I'm very, very hyped. How are you doing, Luna? I hope you're doing well. Naka! Hello, hello. How are you? I hope you're doing good. I'm at work, so I'm dipping in and out. No worries. You dip, dock, dodge, and dive. You got this. No, it's Violet. The Ook is the librarian of the Wizarding University. He was a wizard who accidentally turned into an orangutan and elected not to get turned back. Okay, that's fair. I mean, simpler life. Don't have to wear pants. I can kind of get behind that. This is the extent of my my wizarding current wizarding world. The colleges of Strixhaven. That's where I'm at the moment. This is where so much of my stuff is buried in this. There's going to be so much cool stuff announced this weekend for Magic. There's going to be a bunch of Magic stuff announced. We're seeing this Warhammer preview. I am eating good. I am eating good this weekend for all of this stuff. I'm quite excited. So very, very pumped. So, newbie, redeeming the cardboard crack addiction feed. What would you like me to rip open? What would you like me to rip open? Would you like me to do one of the 3 Strixhaven packs? Or would you like one of the Universes Beyond packs, which are Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed, or Final Fantasy? The sticker, I bet, that's amazing. The stickers, and you can get one yourself. There is a channel point redemption where you will get one of these stickers randomly sent to you. It's an IRL sticker. You're going to get it shipped to you. It doesn't cost you anything but your channel points. Somebody wants one. And see if you can collect them all. We're going to release new ones as we make new emotes. Ooh, ha, ooh, ha, woo. There's a few already out there in the wild. Oh, what would you like me to crack open then, newbie? Which one were you thinking? Which one are you thinking? Close my eyes and pick at random. Oh, it's shuffling time. Every day we're shuffling. Okay, ready. Okay, let's do the shuffle. Where are we at? Corvus! Thank you so much for the 30 stream streak. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Right, okay. Okay, I'm shuffling. Let's go with whatever this one is. I'm hoping for a Strixhaven. It's not Strixhaven. I can feel that from the bump. I think this is Final Fantasy. Well, hey, it was Final Fantasy. There we go. It's the fact it's the only made in Japan pack, so I know the perforation is different on the top, because like that one's like lines, which means it's a, and this one is a when it's here, these are made in Japan. So you got yeah, Fabrico Japan, and then this one would be Belgium most likely. Yeah, Belgium, yeah. It's the press is slightly different. But there we go, Final Fantasy. Really fun pack to rip open. Is the second best-selling Magic set of all time, I believe, or it might be the best-selling Magic set of all time in terms of I can't remember which one it is. It's either second or first, and is yeah, there's some great stuff to pull from here. I know very little about Final Fantasy. It is a genre of game or a franchise of games I've not played a lot of. I played one on the SNES, and that was good. So we're gonna hope here for Sephiroth. Something from the Through the Ages. I'd love to see a Ristic study. So yeah, we'll have to see what we get. So let's have a look. I like to collect channel points. I'm at 1 million in channels so far. Wait, you're at one channel. I thought you meant in this channel. I was like, what? That's wild. I just collected the channel points. I don't spend them. I just collected them and hoarded them like a dragon. Good news. My Secrets of Strixhaven Play Booster box has been shipped. Hell yes. Fingers crossed that will arrive the next day or so. You're going to rip all the packs. You're going to go pack crazy. Buster Sword. Let's go. Let's find out. It is MagicCon this weekend in Las Vegas. Oh, does this need a pack trick? I do believe this does need a pack trick. I think that's probably about the right number. So yes, MagicCon Las Vegas. So there's going to be a load of announcements this week, which I'm very excited about this weekend. Rasmus, gas leaks are scary. It was one in my country 30 years ago. Gas blew up 11-story building, changed into an 8-story as lower flats were just crushed by the rest of the building. I know, yeah, it's good. They just kept saying to me, like, when there was 4 engineers here, they were just like, "Thank God you called," and I was just like, Milkshake had a great time. He was in the car, yeah, with Verity. He was fine as soon as he was allowed to run around the car. We got some very cute photos of him on the dashboard and things. It's very cute. Really should finish Final Fantasy VII at some point. It's been 20 odd years. Oh, is that, yeah. Okay, we ready? And let's go. Okay, so we're going to rip open Final Fantasy. We're kicking off with Magitech armor. We're hoping for a Buster Sword or a Sephiroth, the one-winged angel guy. Rydia, Summoner of Mist. Very gives me like Fern Gully fairy guy vibes. Summon Anima, which is an enchantment creature saga, which is I think this is the only set that's had enchantment creature sagas specifically. Iron Giant, big old giant. Ice Flan, as in like an edible cake flan. Ice Flan. Curl. I would tell you what I'd like to pull from here. An Earth Crystal. I have a deck I would like it to go into. We have Airship Crash. And the Blazing Bomb. That's cool artwork. That kind of reminds me of what was it called? The Pixar film, or the Disney Pixar film. The like Elementals or something. What it was called? It reminds me of the baby fires from that creature. I can't remember what it was called. It's the one where they've got like the not Inside Out. The other one, the one with the one where you've got fire and water. Basically, it's like all the elementals live. There's fire, air, earth, and water, and stuff. And the fire and water person falls in love. It was elemental, yeah. But I can also get the angry man from Inside Out. I can get anger from that 100%. So yes. We have Marlboro. It just looks like Nurgle. It's just Nurgle right there. Then we have a hero token, and we're into the rares, and hopefully some rares and mythics. We're starting off with Gongaga Reactor Town, so one of the lands. Clash of the Econs. It's cool artwork. Some Final Fantasy 16, I think. Ooh, and then we have one of the Through the Ages cards. We have Flynn the Fangbearer as Vayne Caradus Solidor. I don't know who this character is. It's from Final Fantasy 12. I know that much. It's because it says right here on the pack. I'm not. That's what it is. That's cool. Whenever this creature you control, Death Touch deals damage to a player. That player gets 2 points and counters. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. We have the Wandering Minstrel. Which can be a 5-color commander, because of this down here if you needed it to be. And we have a Capital City. And there we go. Sadly, no Sephiroth or Buster Sword, but that's giving me a fun idea for a pretty gnarly idea for a plan for one of them. That's cool. That's yeah, the Wandering Minstrel looks like a fun commander. Yeah, if you control 5 or more towns, towns. Lands, towns. Other creatures you control get plus X, but X is the number of towns. It's just all about having just nothing but towns. I like that. So there we go. Also, I'm told it does look like a fun one. I feel like that could be... It's all about kind of just building up, just ramping, isn't it, really? And 5 colours, there's a lot of play you can have in that. But yeah, what are our predictions? Thank you for the redeeming Cracker Pack newbie. Much appreciated. What is everybody's predictions for what we're going to see? Obviously, the article talks about today is going to be the looking at the... Where's my brain gone? It's just going to be the unboxing preview. But I'm kind of intrigued to know what are we all thinking. So we do like what do we think there's going to be? Because we've definitely not seen everything in the box so far. Because that's what we got. So we've not seen it all yet. But then I'm more intrigued by what's down here. So that's because I'm kind of intrigued. It looks like there's something big. It looks like something big here. Maybe new Gravis unit, some sort of new Gravis, new like we definitely that looks like the Vanguard veterans over here. That looks like we've seen about the tactical squad. It looks like maybe some sort of captain or something there. That's blue, so I'm wondering if that's a new librarian. I feel like we might see a librarian there and like a captain. But these guys are big. They're a new type of eradicator, maybe, or just a whole new unit. Maybe it's actually Devastators. Maybe they're actually going to put Devastators in like Gravis armor, which I think would make sense. In terms of like the logic, it's going to be interesting to see what we see. But I'm kind of intrigued. Perturabo, oh man, Perturabo would be great to see. I would be surprised if we don't get a little tease, a little sprinkle of a tease. I think. Yeah, I feel like we'll see something. And of course, it is Grot Week. So, what have you guys been thinking about the Grots we've been seeing so far? Grot Week. So, you got Grot number 1. So, we have Grot 1. Where's Grot 2? Where's my Grot Week at? I think it's just on the main page. There you go. Grot 2, Grot 3, Grot 4, Grot 5. So you've got Grot number 2. Grots. Grot number 3. I feel like these look like they've got a hell of a lot of detail on them for something which is quite small. I like this guy. The fact that his gun is massive. It just looks massive for him. It looks like he should be running like a bike or something with that kind of like spiked helmet. Waiting for Grot bags. Well, talking with some friends about the Grots, and I think their hands look bigger than the previous ones. They do give me a little bit heroic-y scale. I can get that. I can fully get that. They do look like kind of unhinged, sort of like heroic scale, you know, with the larger head, the larger hands. So, So there we go. That is the Xenos identification chart. And that is the 5 Grots. And then I think they've just put this... This is the live reveals. The article is up, which means that it's probably not going to be long until we see the actual preview. Grot number 5 is John Wick. What did you do to my dog? Yep, that's a fair reaction. I feel like that's like the best reaction that could have happened. I feel like, well, there's the most reasonable, rational reaction. If somebody ever did anything to Milkshake, that would be my reaction. I'd go full John Wick. You're talking like I would make John Wick look incredibly tame. That's what I would see. I would be like, yeah, no. This is nice and easy. This is like don't even think about it. I can't even think about it. Does anyone think the Ally Matrix would make a comeback? That would be cool to see. I liked the old Ally Matrix. I thought it was a good bit of fun. I could see that. I realised I put myself in the miniatures and models category, not the Warhammer category. So let me just update that. I can see that. We are at the point now, just while we wait for the preview and stuff, I can actually put the first Custodes on the marble bases, and I need to decide if I like it or not. It's the problem I now have. Do I like this? Where are we at? I feel like it's missing something, but it might just be me. I'm still really happy with how this marble came out, though. I can't believe how well it came out. More than anything, like this one in particular just looks like a slab of marble. If I just punched my cable of my phone, I have. Damn it. One of these days I won't have technical difficulties. And that's most days, but today, no. Today's all about technical difficulties. Oh, thank you, Luna. This was really good fun to do. And a lot easier than you think, to be fair. As in, like, obviously I used a bit of airbrush work, but it actually came out pretty well. But yeah, I feel like I've had a few people ask me for like a tutorial for it, so I'm either going to try and stitch together the stuff from the episodes of the streams where we did this, or I might do another one again and do a little bit of a... I've never done a tutorial really before. I've done some on stream, but I've never done like a video one. It's like the pressure. But yes, so... But I'm excited. I'm excited for the preview. I'm excited to think about what we're gonna see. Just keeping an eye now to see if the channel is live yet. Just waiting for it to go live. Just kind of sat now, just sat waiting, just watching this, like waiting. I'm ready. Are we hyped though? Are we excited? Are we excited to see some new stuff? What's going to be in the new starter box? Are we all kind of pumped? Like I'm feeling quite excited actually. Even though I don't know if this box is going to be something I'm going to pick up, I'm still excited to see it because it's kind of going to give us the idea. So, This is where I can have two monitors pays off for me. I have Watch Awesome Lewis and new models. Hell yes. Yes, I feel like I'd be lost without two monitors. Like, I need them both. I'm like, give me the precious monitors. Gimme. It's always the tricky part. I'm like, I need definitely both monitors for this. But I'm excited. I'm hoping they tease some other bits at the end, because I can only get so excited by Space Marines. True. I mean, there's orcs as well. I suppose that's one of the upsides, isn't there? There is orcs as well. Which is... but I can get that, though. I can definitely get that. But I feel like, yeah, hopefully there'll be some other bits. Ooh, I think it's live. Are they gone live now? Aha, they have just gone live. Oh no, we're not an advert. That's annoying. Do. Bum. My biggest hope for the box is a new librarian. I think there is one on there. But I'm 100% with Battle Squig though. I would love to see a little tease of something else if we can. That would be really cool to see. It'd be really, really good to see. But yeah, I'm quite hyped. I'm just waiting for this to load up. As always, disable the chat on their end. And make sure I've got all the audio sorted. There might be a loud audio coming through. I apologise if there is. Let me just clonk that off a second. I can hear. I've just unmuted all of the streams I'm lurking in. Abhor the witch! No. It's like, no, we are all the librarians. Give us them all. Right, so we're going to theatre mode. Where are we? Alright, I'm hoping that's not what I wanted. Where are we? Where have you gone? Aha! Starting soon! Woo! I will make myself small. Well, so, yeah, cool. I'm making sure I'm not cutting off anything on this. Nah, I think we've got it all in. Yeah, everything in there. Just because I know I can't have a Dreadnought version anymore, Super Weasel. It's gone. It got legended. I do want it back, though. I 100% want it back. But yeah. But no, it got legended, sadly. Benny, how are you doing? They are indeed. They are unboxing the new 40k box today. The new 40k box. This is going to be exciting. Hold on, I'm just going to make my camera a little bit smaller. Sometimes this way, I do slightly miss our old layout screen. We know where I have like everything in a box. But I'm like, well, I've got more painting space now, so I'm like, yeah. Hey, I'm up here now. I'm small. Hi, everybody. So, I'm hoping it's not going to be too loud. Hold on, I'm just going to mute the Spotify. Let me know how loud this is. Can you hear that background noise? Their background music. Awesome! It's starting soon! I'm excited! Woo! I'm so excited! Do. I just can't hide it! Do. Oh. Yeah, I feel like, it's Orcs and Blood Angels, which makes me excited. The fact that there is a Death Corps of Krieg on this artwork, I'm wondering if it's going to be part Space Marines, part Kriegsmen in the box. That'd be really interesting if it is. And you're about to lose control, and I think I like it. Ah, that was the stream, but that was the start stream. Definitely the start stream. Me just like, oh, and do. But I'd be happy with the Orcs. The Orcs do. This is one of the few times where I'm kind of like Orcs. Orcs could be fun. I've always think Orcs are nice, but there's always a little bit of me that's like, do I need? I definitely don't need Orcs. I mean, I don't need any of it in theory. But sometimes it's like, meh. It's like, but yeah. Do. This will be like a... I haven't grabbed the Bex before they start, that's fair. Some odd people about giving away subs in the Warhammer stream. I think there is... I've subbed to make sure we don't get adverts. But I do feel like, yeah, there's definitely people... Because I think they're live... They've been going live a bit more, but they don't do their normal like Warhammer club they used to do, didn't they? They used to do like a stream every few days. They don't do that anymore, I think. This is on a scale of how excited I am. This is how excited I am. Yeah! Let's go! Oh, it's just me like, let's go. If I ever have to like I'll just randomly just make myself excited. Just be like, look at me go! Sophist, how are you doing? Hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Hello. I don't want anything from the kitchen. I ain't making 2 trips. Oh. Will they have a problem with OBS this time? I hope they don't have any sound issues this time. It is tricky. I mean, I was proof at the start of this stream. I had issues with sound. We had to end stream and restart stream. It happens, doesn't it? It's one of those. It's a tricky one. It's tricky. They did joke about... I saw in the trailer video with sound, hopefully. I was like, at least they can take it in jest, which is good. So, which will be interesting. So, yeah. It'll be pre-recorded. I would. I think some. It wouldn't surprise me if some parts are pre-recorded, but they've done most of them live recently. Thank you, Sophie. Hey, Aki, how you doing? Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. I thought that was Gollum. Ooh, ooh, we're live. Ooh. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Armageddon, the war world. Its soil is worthless, salted by the blood and sweat of generations. War is all that remains. It rises from the dust and echoes in the sky, a promise, a cacophony of endings. Sanguinius' sons, angels of death. We belong here. Our veins burn with his wrath. Our twin hearts hammer with his rage. War is all that we know. This world must hold. There can be no retreat. There can be no mercy. There can be no peace. There is only war.
Bum bum bum. It's a cool trailer. It's nice to watch the trailer without the audio blips from last time.
Hello everybody, we are live. Welcome to this very special Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon unboxing. My name is Adam. I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Eddie.
Well, absolute pleasure to be here. We have an amazing box set to unbox with you today. The Armageddon box, the launch set for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. It's got some orcs in, some space marines in, some pretty cool stuff on the back of the box.
Looks cool,
it's looking great. That's new, loads of good stuff.
New things.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us. I've been keeping an eye on the chat as we've been waiting to begin. It is lovely to have you all here. There's people flocking in from around the world. Let me tell you how it's going to work. For the next 45 minutes to an hour maybe, Eddie and I are going to open this box, take everything out, show you in detail all of the cool Warhammer goodness that's inside of it, and just have a good time sort of getting excited about the launch box for the 11th edition of Warhammer 40,000.
We know a few things that are in this box already, of course. We've seen some of them previewed on the Warhammer community website. We know 5 grots are coming. There's a chaplain we know about, a weird boy, some intercessors, some orc boys, loads of good stuff we know is coming.
Perfect. While we wait for the chat to fill up, and there are thousands of you piling in on YouTube and Twitch, it's nice for everybody at home. Just tell us where you are. The Warhammer community is a global community, and it's really exciting to see where
I'm in the stream room watching you guys.
That's what I'm shout out while I get the locations pouring into the chat. Eddie, done any Warhammer hobby lately?
I have. I've been painting some Warhammer 40,000 things. I painted some orcs and some space marines. I can't show you them just yet, but we might have a look at the end of this show.
Very good. And you, while you're at Adepticon, you played in the event, right?
I did. I got to play in the championship for Warhammer 40,000.
So excited in Liverpool.
I took some space
chat, let me know where you are in the world.
Fantastic.
How about yourself, Adam? Have you been painting
Don't
anything?
dox yourself.
Yes, so I have. Perhaps not as much painting as you, but I've been painting away on something in this set. And also, I've been listening, as I do, to Ashes of the Imperium, which is the audiobook for the first book in the Scouring sequence. And I love it. It's really great. There's some awesome battles.
I'm excited, though. I'm kind of pumped here.
Thoroughly hooked.
Oh, we screw up. I hope you're doing good.
The chat has gone wild. I can't possibly shout you all out, but we've got Texas, we've got
I'm hyped.
Sheffield,
I'm hyped for this.
We've got people
I'm right behind you.
Here, Gamston near Nottingham. people in Germany. Somebody says Ulanor. That's a good location for this particular event. Georgia, Ireland, Canada. So many people from so many great
You're
places.
behind me, eh?
For choosing to tune in and spend a little while with us.
Absolutely.
Nice. So.
Nice
what have we done?
try.
We've,
You're actually in front of me.
welcomed you. We've introduced ourselves. We've talked about where you're from and a little bit about our hobby.
It's
Is it
been
time
too
to just
long
get started?
for
we
me.
should
I
probably
haven't, so I have been
Right,
building my
so
1,000 Suns
This
to
is
paint it.
Warhammer
That's fair.
40,000 Armageddon, the launch box for the 11th edition.
Turn them up. It's
I
a bit
have,
quiet.
A relatively blunt
Bear with me.
mold line scraping tool, and I'm going to use this to pop
So
the
it's
seal
at
on
the same
back.
level as me now. So you have to
Nearly
bear
show
with
you
me.
the front. as I do
Official Warhammer mold line remover tool.
Exactly. It's the
That's
most
the tool
dangerous.
you want to open up your box.
It's the most dangerous item that I could be trusted with live on air. I
That
think
is
it's
true.
fair to
Legally
say.
true.
Is that any better? It's as loud as I can make them.
There we go. One box now ready.
It's a hefty
to
box,
open.
isn't it? It's,
It
It's a
is.
thick box.
Shall we crack it open?
let's do it. Let's do it. Oh,
Oh, look
you
at
got a little
that.
peek of some of the things in
Positioning.
there already.
Ooh.
There you go.
I saw blue.
Oh,
There might be
this
a
comes off.
I'll take
librarian.
that lid. Thank you very much.
So here we are. It is absolutely
That is a lot of plastic.
loaded with frames of Citadel miniatures and bases. There's always somebody in chat that says, "What size is the base?" The answer is there's loads of them,
Just
and there's
that
more
big.
bases
There
somewhere.
There
further
looks like
down
there's
in-
a librarian.
You don't worry too much about that.
And an
Let's pull out all the
ancient and a
frames,
banner
have
bearer.
quick look at these, and then we'll go through and show you everything in detail.
We will show you the painted models as well.
Of course we will.
It's not
But-
just going to be plastic.
But if you're like me, you like to open a box and savor all the cool things that are
So
in
many
it.
things.
So where do we begin? If I pass you the orc things, then
I'll
you
take the
can
orcs.
do
I'm
about orcs. There you
happily
go.
take the orc stuff. Yeah.
Do we get-
So this appears to be.
It's nice that they're showing
a
off the
kit
sprues.
of orc characters, as far as I can tell.
That
There,
is a
so you've got
massive banner.
you've got a big banner in there. There's a big chopper someone gets. Looks like possibly some kind of orc medical specialist.
So-
Okay.
Perfect.
They have
Now,
said that they're going to show off
this is
the
a
sculpts
command
fully
frame,
painted as
and it
well, so
has
we get a
Space
better
Marine
look at
character,
what they're going to look
big
like in the
cloak
end result.
and relic shield,
Classic stuff.
and then an enormous orc, which is clearly some kind of warbar.
We'll put that in the middle if there's a bit of both. That's
Big old
yeah,
orky
nice big
orky.
chopper there.
So I'll stick this on
They're
my side.
jam-packed sprues, though, aren't they? There is a
next up,
lot on those sprues.
Again, more Space Marines. This is a mix of Gravis Space Marines, and then you've got some character models.
So they
a
have
large
got some
standard for
Gravis
Ancient.
Marines in there.
Yeah.
So I'll keep this one on my side. Your turn,
See some
Eddie.
head options in there
I
as
think
well. I'm
maybe
gonna
it's
go
a
with
new
whatever this
updated
looks like. This
Eradicator
appears to
kit
be
by the
some
looks
kind
of
of orc vehicle. Definitely on the kind of speed freaky end of the spectrum. We've got some tracks there, some tyres. I see a chopper. I see some rockets. There we go. Hold it up.
Perfect.
Definitely an orc vehicle of some sort there. Don't think we've seen that in the.
Orc, I know, I was
No,
thinking
no,
that
is
orc
an
vehicle, there's
unrevealed
tracks
thing.
there.
Next, we saw this guy on Warhammer Community. This is clearly the Weird Boy, and he comes in lots of parts. There you go. That's the Weird Boy frame. If you want to have a quick peek at the Weird Boy frame.
It's quite a simple
These
frame
crazy
for the
things with
Weird Boy.
wires and
Yeah, very cool
gubbins.
model. We have seen that one
Like
already.
what,
but an excellent
6,
model.
7 pieces
One of the
max?
stars of the box.
So
No,
this
we
is
haven't seen
pretty
the
obvious
price
what
yet.
this one is. This
Benny,
frame
they
here
might
is
announce
a
it in
land
stream,
speeder, and you saw
but we haven't seen an
mayhem
official
on
Lots
price
of people
yet.
speculating if we were going to get a land speeder in this box. We can confirm you do in fact get a land speeder.
That is
Oh,
the
there's a
answer
new
to this
land
particular
speeder.
Ravenwing fans' prayers.
Oh,
Next
that's
up,
cool. New land speeder,
Space
not storm
Marines
speeder,
in,
land speeder.
Mark 10
That's
power armor.
cool.
These are intercessors.
That's
There
a
we go.
full
We'll show you
sprue
all of these in lots more
Marines.
detail, but we're trying to give you the full experience of what it's like
Dun,
to
dun,
open this
dun.
for yourself. Oh, here we've already seen some of the Vanguard
It's an
veterans.
E-
We have, yeah,
Land
we've seen one of the
speeder.
Vanguard veterans. Obviously, they also appeared in the cinematic trailer, chopping up some kind of orc walker.
Perfect. Vanguard veterans and what looks to be a Space Marine librarian.
Nice.
Librarian! Librarian
I was
mentioned!
going to say, these
Yeah,
two
my
frames
turn,
are
my turn.
identical, and you can have them both at the same
Librarian
time.
officially
So
mentioned.
this is a big frame of orc boys and Gretchen. Lots of some
There we go,
chopping,
Johan.
some shooters.
Official librarian
lots
mentioned.
of head options as well. The heads are separate, so a little bit of customization options in there as well. And some nice big orcs there. I can see some orc knobs in the mix as well. So.
Perfect. And the final frame to come out the box, and a surprise to absolutely nobody, is of course that enormous gun rig that we saw in the video.
Yes, there is an enormous great cannon there. And
QVC, this
some
is.
kind of orc walker, and we'll find out more about that in a little bit.
Perfect. And for the base enthusiast out there, there are 3 more bases. 2 of them are the York, and this one.
Yeah, I feel like they should go like
So,
full
if you look down
like
inside,
QVC
there is
style
now a
with it,
box
shouldn't they,
within
right?
a
Like
box.
go like fully telly shopping.
This is where all of the
Be quite
sort
funny.
of paper components of Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon live.
Oh, they're all going in a little
will
box
crack
again.
it open. It's snugly put in there.
So
and it's
this
got
might this
some
will show if there's a
seal on it.
rule book.
Before we
in
get to
here,
that, should we
there
do
you
if
go.
there's a
Yeah,
new
you do
rule
that
book?
while I do
There's
this.
another thing here. We've got a sheet of transfers. This is
That's a whole lot of
joint
transfers
sheet
on that sheet.
between the Space Marines and the Orcs. What you've got in here is a quite nice selection of stuff. You've got a bunch of Space Marine chapters and a bunch of Orc clans. The Space Marine
Crimson
chapters
Fists?
are all ones that are taking part in the attack on Armageddon, basically.
Yeah, so the Warhammer
reinforcement.
studio have done a really good
Oh,
job
that's
here
cool.
of connecting this launch box to the events that they're depicting on Armageddon.
Ooh.
So you have the Ultramarines, the Blood Angels, the Salamanders, the Crimson Fists, and the White Scars, all forces which are sort of
Oh,
prevalent
that's a really
in
cool
this,
little touch.
operation to reclaim Armageddon.
All the ones that are kind of taking the forefront in Operation Imperator, which is the attack to
So
reclaim
you
Armageddon.
get Crimson
You've also
Fists,
got, some
White
Orc clans in
Scars,
there as well.
Salamanders, Ultramarines, and
some
Blood
Goths,
Angels for the
some,
transfers.
Evil Suns, some Bad Moons.
And Death Scars as well, I think.
Death Scars,
White
yeah.
Scars,
And then
you did
some
say
generic
White
ones as well,
Scars.
so you can use for company markings and things that you can
So
do.
they're officially all taking
I always
part
get
on
really
the
excited
defense of
about
Armageddon.
The decals in sets, so that's fantastic. Right, so I've
Okay.
busted the seals on this. Let's turn it round and open it, and then there we go. This is all of the paper that you get inside the
you get
all the
box
rules
two decks of
components,
cards.
basically.
Exactly. So I guess we start with the biggest thing.
Let's go with the big book. Yeah.
Perfect. So this is Operation Imperator. This is
It's a thin
enormous
book.
hardback lore book. This is a tome just full of the story of. Ooh, I feel like there might be spoilers within. This is the story of the Space Marines mission to reclaim Armageddon.
That's
it is
not the rule
just
book.
absolutely packed.
I'm
with
intrigued.
Stories and art, the narrative that explains the events. There's a
Okay.
gatefold which shows an enormous map. Can I?
You get a big map of Armageddon in there.
There we go.
So this is like a
that's cool,
proper
big
old
fold-out
school
map.
campaign book. It's got more detail on the battle for
Probably than
Armageddon.
anywhere,
Yeah,
any one
more
place
detail than
ever.
we've ever had before. We've had a few kind of supplements and campaigns in the past that have gone to Armageddon, but this dives into it in even more detail, and particularly focusing on the forces of the Orcs and the Space Marines. One of the things that I really like about it is that in each of the war zones that it features, there is a list of the different Space Marine chapters and the different Orc clans that are taking part in the battle. And you can see here, you've got Space Marine chapters like the Marines Malevolent, the Angels Eradicant, the Stormlords present, the Subjugators. So there is a whole bunch of different Space Marine chapters that are taking part in this, as well as the Blood Angels, obviously.
Wait,
who are
who's having a
leading the charge.
burger?
It gives it a real feel of a sort of a historical recounting of events, which is really quite exciting. And if
jealous
you
people
look
have
for
I want a
hooks to connect your army to or the games that you're playing, this feels like just perfect material for campaigns. or
Okay,
new
so I like
collections
this.
and all that.
Absolutely.
Law book.
It is
Law book is a good,
nice
good
big hardback
addition.
book.
That's a good
There's
shout.
Loads of stuff in there.
120 pages. or so?
120 pages long. It's pure lore as well. This is absolutely just loads of background for Warhammer 40,000.
Okay, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for
worth
some
saying
lore
about
in this.
book,
Just
this
a whole lore
is
book.
exclusive to this box. A lot of the other components we're going to go through today will eventually have separate releases individually or in other boxes. You're able to pick them up outside of the Armageddon box. This book, Operation Imperator, is exclusive to this box. So if you want to get your hand on this lovely hardback
interesting.
campaign book,
I don't. That's
it's only
that's
Armageddon.
Makes sense.
that's
Right.
okay.
So
I guess if you
next
get the
up,
launch box, you get a
delving
little
in,
something. But
perhaps the most pedestrian item, but still extremely useful. This is the assembly guide, and it will come as no surprise to you that this is how you assemble your models, and it is just full colour, detailed
yeah,
pictures
a
of
dedicated
how to
lore
put
book
them together.
only in that
Although
box.
say when most of the,
I mean, it's nicer
images are
than just
grey,
getting an
but that's a
alternative
little
art
picture.
rule book.
But here we
it's,
are, everything you'd expect,
I mean,
along with
I suppose you only
detailed,
need one to share between
elaborate
friends, I guess. I mean,
photography, what it should
if
look
you
like
want
when
to
they're done.
check them out.
Lists, obviously, the various different options you've got in there.
Oh, that's a good point. There
so-
are quite a lot of options. on
Yeah,
some
so
of
quite
these.
a lot of the Space Marines we've shown. If there is a squad leader or something that's got an unhelmeted option, there's usually a helmeted option too. Same for the characters. All of the models are also push fit as well. You obviously can glue them.
Yep.
Okay, so
but
push
they
fit
do
models,
go together
push fit
that way.
models
As a person
confirmed.
who's
I've got
not
everything
the
in the box.
Best model builder.
Okay, so
actually,
everything
I
is
find
confirmed
the
as push
push
fit.
has
That's
been
good to
really
know.
good so far. So I'm enjoying it. Next up, and this will be of enormous excitement to people who really are at the cutting edge of playing Warhammer 40,000, is the core rules. This one has never been opened. There we go, allow me to.
Oh,
This is the
I
core
like
rules
that.
for Warhammer
A5
40,000.
book
It's
for the core
everything you need
rules.
to play a game of Warhammer 40,000 along with your codex.
Yep. It's a nice compact version
I
of the
like
rules, so one
that.
ideal for taking to a battle with you.
I've been saying I've
this is
wanted
basically
A5 books
the
back for
engine that
ages.
drives the new edition, right? This is the new core rules that interact with your existing codex and all the different detachments and things. that
I
are
know
coming,
I'm a big fan
all
of
the
that.
missions. This is how you move, how you shoot, how you fight. This is the thing that creates the games of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, it fits in a handy
It's nice
pocket.
to put
That's
it
it,
inside as well.
exactly.
Slip that inside your figure case or whatever, and you are good to go. Worth saying also at this point, the Warhammer 40,000 app will be being updated in line with the new edition at the time of the launch.
Okay,
so
makes sense.
you'll be able to use that to full effect. It should be very exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Next is this pack here. On one side, Orcs. On the other side, Space Marines. And this is.
Is date sheets.
Can you get it open without?
I'd imagine
causing
data
any
sheets for
lasting
this.
damage? Perfect. This is all of the data cards.
War for Armageddon.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll take the Orc ones. So obviously, if you already have a Space Marine or an Orc
New
Codex.
land speeder.
You've got rules for lots of your units already.
Eradication
this
squad.
will give you all of the rules
Intercessors,
for the contents of
ancient.
this box, so you can add them into your existing army.
Captain with relic
very
shield.
portable, nice size,
Trying to
but
read
they
everything.
read, so
New
very
war
useful.
boss.
They're just my jam because you
Yeah.
can keep them on the side of the table while you're playing.
The
I
rules
can
for
taste
these will
the
also be in
new
the
smell.
Warhammer 40,000 app, but
Give it to
if
me.
you like to lay your army's rules out in front of you in a little line across the table so that
Gimme,
easy to
gimme.
see
It's
and
like you
reference,
can always
very
smell
useful.
the box.
Right, so let's put that out of the way. So then there are 2 more boxes of cards, and these are massive. Which one do you want to do
Oh,
first?
let's do chapter proof first.
Oh, a chapter approved in the box.
To break it.
Oh no, try not to. There we go.
Oh, that's
so,
a thick-
chapter approved
a
cards.
thick
Tell us
box.
about chapter approved cards, Eddie.
So, chapter approved will be a familiar concept for those of you who already play lots of games of Warhammer
So it's your match
40,000.
play
This is
2 decks.
basically the mechanism for creating missions in this edition of Warhammer 40,000, much as it has been for previous editions. The difference with this chapter approved deck is that this is the tool you use to create any mission for any game of Warhammer 40,000, not just for match play. This is
Oh.
for all types of games. So if you want to play a very narrative game, or if you want to play a very competitive game at a tournament or something like that, this is still the same deck that you use. Narrative has been weaved all the way through it. We've talked a little bit about that already on the Warhammer community site in terms of how this creates
That's
very narrative feeling
interesting.
games and how armies play into that. But this is the tool you need to create great missions.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes complete with a little chapter approved booklet which explains essentially how to
Interesting.
use
That's
it.
a big
So,
shift.
everything
Chapter
that you
approved
use to
before
kind of
was only
use
match
to
play.
power your game.
So
And you'll
this
be
is
using
now
that a lot.
all in
So,
one place.
Obviously, what you've got here,
And
as
yes,
well as all
yeah,
these
they're
models,
normally
is
good
all
for a
the
year. That
rules
says
stuff you
26
need
to
start
27,
playing
so I
Warhammer
imagine every
40,000.
year they'll
Combine
bring a
them
new
with
one
your
out.
codex with the
Yeah,
date sheets and
right out of
you're
the
away.
gates.
Yeah.
But there's going to be nothing stopping
This
you
is
from
a box
playing the
definitely
old
designed
set.
for people who just want to
That's
start
big
playing
thing on
straight
that
away
one.
in the new edition.
And then finally, Dominatus, another pack of cards, a really hefty looking
What is this?
card box. And Dominatus is something just a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, so the chapter approved mission deck is what you use
Hey,
to
Weeaboo.
create missions. This deck is what you use to create campaigns. So there's been a few different ways that we've spelled out how you might want to do a campaign in the past. This is a deck-driven campaign system for Warhammer 40,000. It works alongside chapter approved, generating those missions.
Oh, I like
and it allows you
this.
to link your battles together in a narrative way. So this is great if you want to play a weekend of gaming
Or link loads together with your gaming club.
yeah, if you've got a gaming club and
Absolutely.
you get to play a game every
Oh,
week,
I
and you
like
want them to kind
that.
of feel like they're
That's-
part of a continuous
that's-
system.
I like
this is
that.
a deck-driven campaign system, and it effectively takes away all the paperwork, all of the logistics of having to run a campaign, and puts it into a deck-based system. So you can link your battles together very easily and feel like you have a very compelling connection between the battles.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
really cool.
Dominatus deck
That's
also
very
comes
cool.
with its own booklet, which is essentially everything you need to know to use it to thread your campaign together. And
That's
when we
actually
say
a
it's
really
simple
good
system,
positive
we're talking
change that
about,
I've been
what,
looking
8
for.
pages long.
I like
and
that.
Between
I
these
haven't
and
actually
your
played it. I
chapter
haven't think
approved
if I
cards,
have
you
to find
got
the
a way of
time. That's
playing
true.
A linked
But we can
narrative
still link the
experience
games. That's
of
the
Warhammer
upside.
40,000.
Even if
And
you
then
only
can
play
quite
like
compact
once
campaigns
a
as well.
month
They
or
only
every
need
other
to be
month.
like 3 games long if you want them to be, or they can be
Absolutely.
great long things. And there's a huge amount of replayability in those decks.
So all of that is within the Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon box set. We've shown you all of the
So no terrain.
frames in a little bit of detail.
Weeaboo!
And
Thank you for the resub, my friend. Thank you so much for 56 months. Hell
the
yes.
models themselves.
Let's do it. I think we should start with my favourite half of the box.
So it's all
Wait, I just noticed they're coordinated outfits. Wait, I didn't even notice. Orcs. Orcs. Boys. Gretchens. Oh, that's nice. What is that? Oh, they look great. Still says June 26th. We know it's coming in
We
June.
are back with the Orc contents from Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon. a flurry of activity to deploy all here on the table in front of us.
Oh, they
this
look
is all
really
of the
nice.
Orc models that you find inside the Armageddon launch box. And
Really,
it is
really.
awesome.
Wait, we started a
so
hype
many
train?
Cool things, to talk about. We'll go
Thank
through
you,
each
everyone.
unit in turn
I don't know how
and
we've
give
done it, but thank you.
guys at home the lowdown on what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Should we start with the smallest of the Orcs?
Yeah, this is a properly great box of Orcs. Worth saying before we dive the whole thing, effectively what you've got here is a combat patrol worth of Orcs, and then a bunch more stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it works out
Thank you
something
for the
about
mini
700 to
Super
800 points worth of stuff. So it's a fairly sizable chunk of an army. If this is your first foray into Orcs, and I think a lot of people are getting quite excited about Orcs at the moment, rightly so.
Giving
they're
5
very
subs to the
cool.
channel. Thank
I
you
think
so
a lot
much.
of,
That's
this is a
incredibly
great
kind
start
of
to an
you.
army. You've got some really solid units. If you are bolting this onto an existing Orc army, and I've got a fairly sizable Orc army at home, there are lots of very cool units in this that add new tools into the mix. So it's
I
a
like the way
great
we just
box.
accidentally replaced Adam with Jar Jar Binks'
Somebody
head.
called Darkblade in the chat was saying that the grots are a waste of plastic. They're absolutely not. Grots are essential
Grots
to
are
every
essential.
Warboss's plan.
Yeah, so we're starting with
Let's
the
go.
lowest rung of Orc Society here. This is the Gretchen unit. We've seen some of these already. There is a unit of 10 Gretchen in the box.
Okay,
Gretchen
I'm so
are
sorry,
very
it's
useful unit in
blocking the
Warhammer
minis,
40,000
but it's
Orc
fine.
armies. You can push them forward to take objectives.
The Jar Jar
without
head swaps right
worrying
together.
about
And
any
they're
of your.
incredibly cheap to
They're
use
very,
as well,
very cheap
actually.
in
Thank
terms
you
of
so
points.
much, that's
You
incredibly
can throw them
kind of
away
you.
willy-nilly and not worry too much about it. In terms of
Hey,
the miniatures,
Shrimp, how
there's
you
some
doing?
really lovely little throwbacks in this box
Rossi,
to
thank you for the
classic
minis.
Absolutely so, yeah.
Gretchen. Some of the miniatures are very reminiscent of some of the things you saw in second and third
So the
edition.
spiked helmets there really come into it, don't they?
absolutely. And also some of the weapons are quite reminiscent of Gorka Morka era grots.
It's almost like it's the greatest hits of sort of grots through the ages.
These
is,
do
yeah,
look
they look
great.
great.
These
I
look like.
it. So anyway,
really
we've
nice
We're not going to dwell on
grots.
grots for too long though.
So should we
there's
go?
more exciting things.
Should we
in
go
the box.
upper level
Let's
in
go up.
Orcdom
Let's go
and let's
up a
look
level.
at the Orc Boys. There are 2 units of 10 Orc Boys in this set.
2
You
units
can
of
see them
10.
here on the screen. They look fantastic. Essentially, it's 9 boys and then a boss knob to lead.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
so orcs are the absolute mainstay backbone of an orc army. This is
And
a
now
brand
you have the
new
option
unit.
with the orcs.
Every model is new.
Is that you get
the
to
thing that we know
you get
about
to choose
the
a
new
chopper
orc unit
and
already
a
is that
shooter
orcs now
rather than
come
one or
with
the
a
other. You
slugger
get
and a
both.
chopper and a shooter. So immediately into the new edition, they are going to be
He looks
great in
great.
shooting, great in combat, a more flexible unit.
Oh, I love that.
They have a boss knob in each unit. The boss knobs have slightly different weapons. There's a combi rocket on one and a custom shooter on the other. It's worth saying, one of the big requests of Orc players is the combi rocket and the combi shooter now have different stat lines. The combi rocket is a real rocket rather than being a kind of mortal wound dealing thing.
Oh,
And
nice.
the custom shooter just gets you loads of shots.
The chat absolutely loves these.
Yeah,
I
they
couldn't
are
these
really
look
cool. I
stunning.
mean, every single model is like a wonderful characterful model. Some of them have got like weird squigs hanging off the belts. There's some stick bombs in the mix. They do have the explosive.
Oh no, I don't need
keywords,
orcs,
so
do I,
grenades
chat?
Effectively.
Chat, I don't need orcs.
So every single one is a character.
What I'd like to do is pull the knobs out of the unit for a second and just show
they're
you them
massive.
side by side. Or put an orc between
Guys,
them.
those
We'll get a
knobs
nice
are
close-up
massive.
because I just
They-
think these are really impressive looking models.
Yeah, the orc knobs
Get
are
your mind
very
out of the
large,
gutters.
Models. I think they're almost as big as
Fan-friendly
some of the war
adjacent, you
bosses
lot.
Yeah,
we've seen
absolutely.
in previous editions.
And the
previous
fact that
incarnations.
you've got such 2
They look
such
huge
character-looking,
compared to the
options
boys.
there is really great as well. So these are the Orc Boys. As I said before, there's 22 mobs of 10, and they're kind of like the mainstay for your
There you go.
orcs.
It's
Two
good,
mobs
right?
of
They
10.
fight really well. They're
So I
tough.
assume that's
The
nine
thing
boys
that
with 2
really
knobs.
makes orcs work is where you start
Well,
adding
9 boys
characters
each.
into the units. It gives you
9
lots
boys
of
with a
cool
knob.
abilities,
There
and
we
there's a
go.
bunch of stuff in this box.
We don't need
that
orcs.
can
We don't
do
need
that. We
orcs.
can Have a look at a few of those.
Hey
Yeah,
Steve, how
absolutely.
you
So
doing?
next up here near the front, I'll move them to the front. There we go, fantastic view here. This is the Orcs Big Boss,
Ooh, a
which is
big boss.
sort of a new thing inside the Orc force composition, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
at the moment in your orc armies, you have your war boss, but then underneath
Oh
him,
God,
you haven't
Chaz
really
to
got
send
any
details.
other characters that fill in the sort of boss level role. So the big boss is basically like a war boss in waiting. He's the next level
Has he
down.
got a tiny
rung.
squig on
He
the
is
base?
the enforcer of the war boss's will across the rest of your army, and he is he's a brawler.
He's kind of hoping that the war boss might not make it through the battle. As
Yeah,
well,
if
maybe.
the war boss gets on the wrong end of a power fist or something, he has to step up to take the war boss's place. He wouldn't be too sad about it. But in game terms, he is a really
exactly
useful little
it.
piece because you put him in amongst either your boys or your knobs, something like that.
Yeah.
And he
Knobs
makes
with
the
a
unit
Z,
hit harder.
different
He himself is
We're not
a
talking
wrecking
about
machine in
doorknobs.
combat, but he gives the whole unit +1 to charge, and also sustained hits. So you can imagine that on a big
Yeah, the
unit of
squig
boys
doesn't have any
or a big unit
eyes.
of knobs or something, charging into an enemy unit, it's going to make an absolute mess.
Somebody said, is he smaller than the Orc boys? And the answer is no, he's an absolute unit.
He is.
Let me stick an Orc boy alongside these guy and you'll get a sense for...
Oh, yeah,
just
he's
how-
He stands a little bit taller than the knob leaders in each of those boys' units.
Yeah, absolutely. So, next up, if we've had the big boss, we should do the guy on your side,
Door knobs.
Eddie, which is the banner knob.
Yeah,
Here we go.
another one of the leader units in
This
the Orc
looks
force.
stunning.
This is
That
the
banner
knob.
looks
War banners, of
fantastic.
course, have been part of Orc armies.
Absolutely
for
fantastic.
since Orc armies started. Every war boss needs to have a war banner somewhere so the boys know what they're following. This is a beautiful model. If we talk about the model first of all,
That's what excites me is the way that
Thank you
he's
so much for the
designed
100
banner
biddies,
is
pushing
that
the
you
hype
actually
train
really
going.
customise it to
Hype,
your
hype,
own
hype, hype,
Orc
hype. Thank you
force,
so
right?
much.
So it's got sculpted on details you can see there.
Ooh, that's
but there's
gorgeous.
spaces
That
left
banner is.
you can
I
use
don't.
the
I don't
decals
need
from the decal
orcs.
sheet to theme it after your own
Don't need orcs,
clan
don't need orcs,
and
don't
give
need
them the
orcs,
sort of
don't need
markings and
orcs.
glyphs that you want
Yep.
to reflect your own
Don't
war
need 'em, don't
boss
need 'em, don't
and
need
the
'em.
force elites.
yeah, so this one here that's been painted by the Heavy Metal team beautifully uses the decals, uses the Goth decals. So this is probably part of Gazgul's wider war
This
somewhere
looks
around
stunning.
Armageddon.
That
but
banner's
you
so
also have a
dynamic
nice
as
big
well, the
flat space
posing,
there
that's
to use
lovely.
other decals so you can
Are
paint
you
rooms,
do?
or you can paint your own, and then you've
I
also
do
got
you?
some sculpted on bits.
Maybe I
In
do.
terms of the game, this is a very powerful piece. It has the support rule. What that basically means is that if you have a unit, you can have a leader unit in it, something like a war boss or a big boss.
Yep.
You can also have a support model, something like a banner knob, so you can have two characters in the unit at the same time. That gives you access to loads of really cool combos. You can have one of each. The combos that this guy puts onto your units is that it gives the unit a 5-up invulnerable save. So
Whoa.
basically, they're so inspired by the presence of
They're
the
just shrugging off bolt wounds.
yeah, so it's by the
5-up
war banner, they just
invulnerable
shrug off
save on
even,
whatever squad that goes with.
debilitating lethal hits.
That's good
And
in
then when the
orcs.
war is active, he also gives them +1 toughness. So that unit of even basic boys
What?
is going to be shrugging off even things like heavy bolter fire very easily.
Oh, he's massive.
I'll stick a...
Thank you, Sophis.
Orc boy for-
He's massive.
So again, a very big, cool, impressive model. Would probably stands behind your war boss.
Absolutely,
in,
yeah.
in battle.
Out of trouble, but near the front lines.
Something like that.
So next up, then, let's show the Pain Boy. This is essentially a
Finally a
battlefield
new Pain
medic
Boy,
slash
finally.
doctor for your orcs in the loosest possible
I think
terms.
medic is a generous term. So I think first off, the model is very fun, right? So this is, I think, the first time it's a plastic Pain Boy.
Look at that painting on that
You
jacket.
can kind of see already from the model what he
stunning.
kind of does. He kind of mends your orcs if they get
Sort
shot,
of.
reattaches arms and heads and things if they get blasted off.
In answer to
He
your
comes
question,
with, Grot
newbie,
orderly.
about
This is
150
the
was
11th Grot in the
Leviathan.
box. This is a really fun model. I think
It was
the
about
Grot
150
orderly
was
is my
Leviathan,
favourite.
so I
He's
wouldn't
a
be surprised if
token,
this is
really, for your forces,
maybe
because he has the
slightly
ability
more,
to use
like
him in the game.
160
Yes,
maybe.
so in game terms, what the Pain Boy does, another support model, so again, a model you can put into a boy unit or a knob unit alongside something like a war boss or a big boss. He gives the unit Feel No Pain 5-up.
Yeah, medic,
Incredibly good on
medic.
your already very tough orcs. The Grot Orderly that's with him is effectively a once-game ability where you can bring back bodyguard units into
Oh,
into
wow,
that
that's
unit.
cool.
So once a game, you can get some of your boys to stand back up again, even after they've
I
died.
assume you are stitching limbs back on at that point, or
Yeah.
putting squigs
Oh, I like
into
the fact
into
he's
Or maybe
got like
the
kind of
Grot's
like
run off to get some spare
Frankenstein's
parts and you
monster
just,
style
come back with them,
staples
something like
together,
Yeah,
like
so here
Flesh
they are at the
Golem
front
style.
of the force here. Should we do orc for scale? We've
Yeah,
done it every
he's about
other
the same
time.
size as the boy, maybe a little bit bigger.
Also,
but
these
he's
are
not there
painted
for his bulk. He's there for
spectacularly.
his think you know what.
The heavy metal
He's
team who
also
painted
got
these,
a
they've
kind
done a
of,
phenomenal job.
Urti
whoever that was.
syringe, which is actually
Whoa.
fairly solid
it?
in combat. It's only got one attack, but it does have anti-infantry and precision, which is pretty solid. So
That's
you
not
can
bad.
kind
So
of,
you pick on
every now and again,
Well,
you
so
will
far
kill
these
something very
orcs are
valuable.
incredibly impressive.
So next up, and we've seen this guy already on WarhammerCommunity.com, but this is the Weird Boy, a really incredible looking miniature. It's so redolent of
looks
artwork that we've
huge.
seen.
And those
embodies the
like
orc
bits
war
attached
energy
look
that
quite. They've got a
follows
bit
the
of like
arms around.
girth
Yeah,
to
we've
them,
already
so
seen
I don't
this
think they're going to be
guy,
particularly
We
fragile.
also saw him in the cinematic trailer.
Like the
He
cables
does
and
exactly
things.
what you'd hope a Weird Boy does. The model is great. In game terms, he has the jump, which allows you to pick up one of your orc units and teleport it through the power of the orc gods. He also can blast enemy
Nice.
units with psychic energy, and that becomes more powerful the more orcs are around him as well.
Yeah,
So,
damn.
that's kind of how they've always worked. They carry on working that way. The difference now is that you've got an amazing new plastic model.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
And there you see him at the front. I've
looks
done it with every
massive.
other one. So orc for scale. There we go. Him stood next to a boy. He's got a heroic rock to stand on.
Oh,
but
course,
even
tats.
so, he's
You've got to have
he's
the tactical rock for a
substantial,
character, right? That's how it works.
Orc. The last of the sort of infantry things in this force is, of course, the leader of the Orc throng, and here we have our
The
war
War
boss, a really mighty-looking model, worthy of leading the war.
Yeah, it's a big model, this guy. So I think standing a little bit taller than even some of the current Orc war bosses we've had in the past.
Wow,
this guy
that's-
comes with a
that's
custom
really
shooter.
nice. This is the
and a custom
multi-part war
chopper,
boss, isn't
and
it?
as you would imagine as well, he gives a bunch of buffs to his unit. They get +1 to their hit rolls, and he gets a bunch of extra rules when the war is active. One of the things worth calling out about this model's rules is, at the moment, when you take an Orc war boss, a lot of the time people are putting power
All about the
claws on
power
them.
claw,
Yeah, it's all
yeah,
about power
absolutely.
claw because you get extra strength and good AP, good damage. The custom chopper takes advantage of one of the new rules in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, which is cleave. So cleave basically gives you blast, so extra attacks into big units, and it makes him very, very good at chopping through kind of medium-level infantry, things like Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, Necrons, that sort of stuff. So I think it makes the custom chopper a very appealing choice, even
That's
versus
interesting
some of
new
the
rule.
very lethal
Thank you everyone
weapons
for the
that
hype
you could
train.
otherwise take.
Share your emotes. I love
chat
those
absolutely
emotes.
loving the orcs, especially the war bosses.
So that was, if you didn't hear that, he talked about a
the-
new rule called
the fanboys are
cleave,
getting
which
some
means if you
rules.
hit
You
bigger
get a set-
units
so
of
here you go.
squads,
almost
you
twice
get
as high
bonus
as an Orc
attacks.
boy.
And here's him stood next
That's
to one
pretty
of
cool.
his knobs. He really is an absolute bruiser. Yeah, fantastic.
He's
Really
a
great
hefty-
leader
hefty
for your,
mini.
your orc
Again,
force.
a nice big banner on there as well that takes advantage of the transfers.
Well, exactly.
if
All
you
those
want to.
decals are going to... Oh, I nearly stuck him in with the boys.
Don't do that.
I mean, he could lead them, I suppose. Right, so we've covered all of the infantry units, but there's still more to go.
And then
Let's
the
look
two
at the first
vehicles.
of the vehicles with this force, which is the war track.
Yeah, so this is a returning unit
Yes,
for
it's a
Orcs. They've
classic,
had war
this
tracks in the
is.
past. They had war tracks back as far as 2nd edition, I think. This is a fast-moving Orc fire support vehicle. It's a bit upgunned since its last incarnation. It comes with a custom shooter, but also a rocket launcher, and that's really
That's
where the
cool.
damage comes out of this thing. Rocket launcher, quite a tasty number of attacks. D3 plus 3 attacks. Strength 10 and 3 damage is pretty solid. That makes it very good at popping things like elite infantry, and also you can punch up into
Nice.
even vehicles and things like that.
Here we go, here we go, here we
Accompanying
go.
Things like your speed war, your bikes, that sort of
Okay,
thing.
I have forgiven the lack
and
of
just
cardboard
adds some
dreadnought.
pretty respectable fire support to your
Just use the
fast-moving
box.
Orc
Just use the box, that's all you need.
The model itself is obviously fantastic. I'm going to show you, I'm going to very carefully, I always get very nervous holding heavy metal models. You can see all these little sort of dints inside the footplate that the knob on the back is standing on. Those, I'm pretty sure, match the hobnails on his boots for giving him some extra stability. I've been looking at this kit, trying to work out the secrets of it. One of the things I wanted to do was, I'm old enough and grey enough that I remember when war tracks first emerged, and we hunted down an original war track, and I just wanted to put it next to it for
An
posterity's
older war
sake.
track to compare.
Because it's
Wow.
like, I remember seeing that original war track come out and thinking it was just the bee's knees and super cool, and it's still
That is a blast from
absolutely
the
charming.
past, that
but
war
the
track.
one is such a glow up. It really does show the way that the miniatures design team in the Warhammer studio have just evolved their skill set and the technology available to them to make incredible
that is a
miniatures.
wild blast from the past.
And this war track just embodies all of that.
Yep.
It's not the centerpiece
It's
of
not,
the Orc
no.
throng, however. I'm going to carefully put it to the
I
back.
want to see this.
The
This
biggest
walker unit
thing,
looks
the
great.
biggest gun is absolutely the Big Mech Dakar rig.
So this does exactly what you would think it does by looking at it. It
Absolutely.
is an Orc mech's prized possession. It is an enormous walking cannon.
Ooh, I'll be honest, in the
piloted
trailer,
by a Big Mech. You
I
saw
wasn't
it
sure if
in
they were
the
right, it was a
cinematic
mini
trailer,
squiggle.
blasting things out of the sky and blasting through Space Marine forces. It has a formidable amount of firepower in the game. It's got a blitz cannon and a set of rocket launchers. The blitz cannon kicks out a whole bunch of shots, but heavy as grade 1, so it's surprisingly accurate for an Orc shooting unit. It also gets extra shots when it shoots into smaller enemy units, so anything that's not a monster or a vehicle, you get a bunch of extra shots. The rocket launchers
is
underneath it as well
nice.
also get some fairly respectable firepower too, and then the whole thing is on a very durable frame because the Big Mech has also brought along a force field.
So on his back, you can see it here in this picture, he has his force field projector to protect him. The model is just replete with details.
So it
that
sounds
we're
like it
talking
has
about.
an
I love all the
invulnerable save as
cabling
well
that
if it has a
hangs
force
underneath
field
it, the
projector.
sort of ramshackled nature of
I feel like
it.
this is going to be
I'm
a
gonna
pretty
spin
decent.
it carefully around and show you my favourite weird feature, which is the absolute orky indifference to health and safety. He's literally flanked either side of him with these enormous Prometheum tanks, which are totally exposed to enemy fire. When I spin it back round and you look for those red bits, Like he is
Correct. Like it's the critical hit points, like any boss in any video game.
That's what force field is for.
Well, I guess so, and it better work because otherwise he's in trouble. This is firepower on legs.
These look really nice.
I've bought some props in.
nice.
Somebody in the chat has called me out and said that that's not the original war track, by the way. And you're right, that is a Gorka Morka era war track.
Couldn't find the original one.
If you imagine, the Warhammer archive is like going into.
I want to get stuck in with the boys.
Thousands of models
Thank you,
on shelves.
Newbie.
And I found the first really old war track I could and used that. So fair play, good eyes. You score 1 nerd point. Here we see some other orc walkers. So we have a
so it's
Killer
like
Can, a Death Dread,
comparisons.
and they're stood next to the Dakar rig. Gives you a sense of its place within the sort of orc walking things pantheon.
Absolutely.
basically
you can
a
imagine
shooter
that
Death Dread
the
is the
Dakar
vibe.
rig works perfectly well alongside any orc army marching alongside your boys, but it fits in very nicely if you have a Dread War, if you've got lots of Death Dreads, lots of Killer
That
Cans.
looks
You
really
can
cool.
imagine if you have an
this
orc
looks
mech
great.
who particularly likes building dreadnoughts.
Also,
that
I
he
love
would
that
want to accompany them
somebody
into battle,
spotted the
way
difference
he would
between
do
that war track. I
is
thought
in
that
the
was
back of,
the classic war track.
one of these Dakar rigs.
Absolutely. So we have essentially, I think, shown you the orcs. There are a few questions about how the orcs scale with some of the other things in this set. I'll keep a few of these to the side so that when we show you the Space Marine half of things, I can do some size comparisons with other things in the kit.
Ready for Marines.
Let's have a look now at my favourite half of the Armageddon box set, the Space Marines.
Dice. Let's go. Okay, Vanguard Vets. Eradicators with heavy bolters. Okay. That's nice. New librarian! New land speeder. I mean, yeah. There's some nice stuff here. I feel like I'm looking forward to seeing them closer. The orcs blew me away, so
That
I'm
was the
hyped to see what
fastest
these
set
are like.
change you've ever seen in your life. We have placed in front of us now the Space Marines half of Warhammer
I will be
40,000
getting this box.
Armageddon. Let's just neaten up some of these units. I am stoked. I absolutely love Space Marines. I've loved them for such a very long time, and this is a
The new
wonderful
land speeder is the
way
bit that's
to
exciting me the
either
most.
Add to an existing Space Marine army or kickstart a new one if you've always considered it and never made the plunge. There's a lot
Yeah.
here to talk about.
intrigued by this.
Eddie, first of all, overall impressions?
Yeah, I mean, this is
It looks
this is
really
a great box.
nice. Look at
Space Marines.
the
This
center.
is
It looks really
effectively
nice so far.
Space Marines' greatest hits, right? So you've got your solid battle
needs a
line unit
Marine,
in
so
the
can I get
intercessors
the
there.
orcs?
You've got
I
some
understand why someone
fast-moving
would. They're
assault
great.
things. You've got your kind of
You're definitely
devastator
good.
equivalent with the Gravis heavy bolter troops. Obviously, you've got a great vehicle there to give you some fire support, and you've got all the classics in terms of the Space Marine commanders. There's the captain, librarian, the chaplain, and of course the ancient. So this is a great start to a Space Marine army. Some beautiful models.
Wonderful. So let's
is a good
start with
all-round
the
force.
most straightforward of Space Marine units, if straightforward can ever be
Give me
applied to a
your
Space Marine, and that would be our Intercessors.
Yeah, so this is the Intercessor Squad. They are the Intercessors you know and love. The key difference really with this box is the difference and the inclusion of some older armor marks and some older bits into the
Okay.
kit as well. But lots of
It's like an
returning
updated
features. So you've got
sprue
Space Marine
by the
all
looks
specs
of it.
there, all of the touches you'd expect, like the purity seals and the icons.
They've got
and
relics and various bits and pieces around. One of my favourites, this guy here actually, now he's perfect timing. He has his Purity Seal parchment wrapped around his bolt rifle.
yeah, underslung
Okay.
grenade there as well.
Sort of the combination of the old school with the new
There's
school.
a
as
big
the primary
selection of
things are
weapons in here.
integrating more into the Space Marine chapters, and you're seeing more of those classic
you've got
Space Marine elements.
Bolt
being added
rifles,
into the armor.
assault bolt rifles with the drums,
The relic bolts, yeah, for
and then the
example.
ones with the auxiliary
I
grenade
love
launchers as well.
Intercessors. I
There's a
have
good
30
mix of
them
weapons
inside
in
my
here.
Dark Angels army already. These will just find a home alongside their battle brothers. I can't wait to get my hands on them.
One thing to note there on the Sergeant, you can see just on his waist there is the Armageddon campaign badge. That is a recurring feature across lots of the models in this set.
And on the decal sheet.
And
as
on
well,
the
actually.
decal sheet, this basically the Space Marines that take part in the Armageddon campaign are allowed to wear this badge.
that's
Other
cool.
than that badge noting them as part of the force retaking Armageddon, the models in this set are chapter agnostic, so you can paint them as any chapter that you like.
Good.
So, Adam, you've
Start
already
set,
talked about
that's
your
what I was
Dark
hoping
Angels.
for.
I'm eyeing up some of these to put into my Space Wolves force. Also, an excellent way to start a brand new Space Marine army.
Yeah, so I saw a question pop up in the chat which said, are the shoulder pads attached to the arms? Yes, they are. There's no sculpted detail that delineates any particular chapter, so you can use any detail.
Interesting for this is that they're answering the question that was people's main annoyance with intercessors. Is intercessors look too kind of like copy pastable? By adding in older marks of armor and a few variations like to the poses and the weapons.
So those are your intercessors.
You got a few
them
options.
not look
It's worth saying. So
That's true.
some of the heads are separate on the majority of these.
Yeah, they sort of have those sort of guide pegs, but snip those off and you can change.
Yeah, you could quite happily swap the heads around with these.
The sergeant, I think.
The sergeant, you have an armored head. Basically, I think every Space Marine that has an unhelmeted head in the set. If you don't want to paint faces because you want to paint them
There's
faster,
a lot of models here, which makes me wonder if this is this a lot of stuff.
That's true.
Is this more than
there's a helmeted head in there as well. It also makes it very easy if you want
patrols
to add in some flavorful pieces as well. If you've got some spare Black Templar bits or Space Wolf bits,
That's what I've been doing on the slide. Perfect. Right, so that is the intercessors. Next unit up, then, we should look at, and these are a contender for the most exciting thing for me. These are the Space Marine Eradicators.
Just not load of stuff
talk about what you can see on the screen.
Yeah, so Space Marine Eradicators. We've seen Eradicators with multi-melters before. This is the kind of opposite end of the spectrum in terms of things you might
so
want
they're
to kill.
given...
These are Eradicators with heavy bolters. They are in Space Marines in Gravis armor. Gravis armor, of course, very durable. Each one of these is 3 wounds.
I can get behind this. I think I like the Gravis armor.
In terms of what they do for you in the game, they are very, very good at killing lots of enemy infantry. You know heavy bolters do, but these guys have an extra little trick, which is if you target an enemy unit that's not a monster or a vehicle, they get blast. Now that basically it's overlapping detonations. They just absolutely flood a region of the battlefield with heavy bolter shots, and it means that they are incredibly good into big units of enemies, like big units of orcs. If you've got 3 of them and you're firing into a mob of 20 orcs, you'd get an extra 12 shots.
So you'd be
from
hitting 21 shots at that point?
So you get 19. So you get 3 shots each for the heavy bolters.
Yep.
They also have heavy, so you could be hitting on 2s if you wanted to. And they've also got sustained hits. So you can imagine the amount of firepower this unit could land in terms of hits into a big unit of enemy.
Heavy bolters with blast
absolutely
is pretty nice.
Horrifying.
Pretty nice.
So you imagine a few units of these and you could just remove an enemy horde army fairly quickly in a few shooting phases.
So here they are lined up at the front. I mean, we've seen
they do look really nice sculpts, actually. They do look really nice.
But they are bigger boys than the
not much taller, but wider.
Yeah, there's a lot of chunk there, which is useful for stopping bullets and carrying big guns.
Yeah,
I really like these.
A few things to call out about the kits.
I can see here ogling models isn't getting any packing.
There's an option in the box for the sergeant to have a helmet. I really like the
Mark
7 helmet.
It's a Mark 7 helmet you get in the box, yeah. I really like the front of the heavy bolters. There was a nice big shield plate on there to add in detail. You can see the heavy metal team.
I can hear many a gamer screaming, suppressive fire!
Than I'll ever be able to on the front of that one. But if you've got a Space Marine chapter and you kind of tailor these to fit, they'd look really cool. In a bunch of different chapters, kind of leading into
must get back to work so I can buy the shinies.
Or, kind of whatever your
that's a means to an end, isn't it?
This one I've singled out. You might be able to see it if we can get an angle. So that Gravis armor has a distinctive sort of helmet shape with extra sort of components around the side, and here you can see it has been adapted to some Mark 7 helmets with that treatment.
These are all look amazing, but why do they have to paint the rims brown?
Sort of older armor marks and how you
I'm partial
this
to the
unit
occasional
would look particularly cool in something
different coloured
Dark Angels green.
Dark Angels green. I mean, sure, but I was going to say maybe Imperial Fist. They fit in really nicely, right? So if you want a really solid, dependable unit that can stand on a wall somewhere and just blast hordes of enemies towards them, they would look excellent.
And there's lots of use cases for them as well, like when you're fighting huge hordes of gaunts or whatever. If you're
I mean, nobody wants blast heavy bolters shooting at them, really. Like, I can't really conjure an infantry unit that would like that.
Thank you for the load, Surface.
So, the next of the units,
well.
Let's look at the Vanguard veterans. We've seen a Vanguard veteran already this week.
We've seen one Vanguard veteran, but this is the whole squad.
So they all have swords.
We saw them in the cinematic trailer, dropping in, chopping up some orcs and chopping through the Dakar rig. This is the whole unit. They are effectively, they do for intercessors what Sternguard did for intercessors for your assault intercessors. They are the hardest hitting assault, fast-moving assault troops in the Space Marine Force. Every single one of them comes with a master-crafted power weapon. They all have heavy bolt pistols. In addition to that, they get lethal hits when they charge in. So the
so it sounds like-
mastercrafted
Okay.
power weapons make them very good going into enemy elite infantry. And because they get lethal hits when they charge, they can even punch up into things like vehicles and monsters quite happily. They get even more lethal when you start adding in things like a jump pack chaplain
Exactly.
or something.
Upon whom more later.
So
Here you
it
can
sounds
see
like
with
they're
movements at
just
the
going to
front,
be
a really great
swords,
dynamic-looking squad.
mastercrafted
I love
power
the fact
weapons.
that the miniatures
I guess so
designed
you
to
can
make
kind
them
of
look
tailor the power
springing
weapon to
off
the
of
style
rocky
of your
outcrops and things
faction.
as they move forward. Really
chapter.
conjures that bounding, leaping motion that we associate with the way that jump pack equipped troops leap into
So
battle.
make them
This is
scimitars
fantastic
to go
posing. If
alongside
you're
your
a
white
Black
scars,
Templar
make
or a
them
Dark Angels
worth
fan,
power
this one
mauls
clutching
to
his
go
sword in
alongside
sort
your
of two hands has
iron
got that
hands.
sort of-
The two-handed sword is very
It's
cool.
really
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
isn't it?
We're saying about the rocks on them. The rocks are all sort of Armageddon themed. So
Yeah,
Armageddon's got
absolutely.
this sort of like very jagged wasteland landscape sort of vibe to it. So all of the rocks that all the characters are standing on kind of fits into that. And there's loads of that depicted in the artwork of the Armageddon sets. They're very cool. They look, I think, excellent in Raven Guard. Obviously,
They
it's
haven't
really
said
well.
so
yeah,
yet.
I think
anybody
they
who-
Black
Super
Templar
Wizard.
up
They
very
said
well.
that they
Yeah,
all have
that's where I
mastercrafted
can
power
see 'em.
weapons.
Anybody who really likes that sort of
So-
fast attack component is going to get a real kick out of those. You can imagine bounding alongside White Scars vehicles and bikes and things,
Yeah.
couldn't you? Next up, then, let's look at some of the
I was hoping they
heroes
would
of the
answer a
Space Marines
question.
who are in this. Let's start with the Ancient. I'm a big fan of banners, so this one is near and dear to my heart.
Wow, that
Straight away,
banner has
I'm
been
going to
painted
call out the fact that the
fantastically.
banner has got loads of sculpted detail on it, and this is an Armageddon campaign
Wow.
banner. The Space Marine chapters that turn up to fight on Armageddon as part of Operation Imperator have
That's
been
stunning.
issued or made,
Stunning.
I suppose, these banners that show their commitment to the cause. So a lot of this detail is sculpted on the orc skulls inside the flame, the word Armageddon inside that scroll, the Aquila holding that circle. It's all sculpted detail, which will make it very easy for you to get that fantastic sort of paint job on it. The centre of that circle is clear, as is the centre of the star, so you can put your own markings on. So here you can see Blood Angels and a
Pretty
fist temple
standard
marking, but you can
Ancient
equally
there.
imagine it,
But,
showing
nice to
your
have an
Black
Ancient,
Templars
again, a bit
Crusade
more readily
or whatever
available.
the chapter that you're going for.
Yeah, so loads of already sculpted detail and the opportunity to add touches onto it. I think this is really cool. I love the fact that this is super themed to the events of this box set. Loads of Space Marine chapters have taken part in the Armageddon War, so loads of them would have the opportunity to take a banner like this with them. You get a couple
I
of
like the armour.
head
I like the
options in there. There's the
non-Aquila with the
unhelmeted
little
head you can
studs
see
across
there.
the
There's also a
breastplate. That's
helmeted
really
head, which I
nice.
believe is a Mark 7
Yes,
helmet.
it is. It's quite a nice Mark 7 helmet with a little skull on top.
Yeah.
How ancient is
So,
the
yeah, a
ancient?
very,
well,
very cool,
he were a
cool
young
banner
lad.
and-
He'd
and
be
it's
goblin
fairly
green
easy to paint
rims,
because
not
it's all
brown
sculpted detail as
rims.
well.
Yeah, absolutely. And here you can see him at the front, a fantastic addition to your force, useful. in
Yeah,
the
how
game,
do you make your
obviously,
model spin like that?
but
Mine don't
for
spin.
my money, I just like having
Yeah,
as
he
many
looks great.
banners as I can get in my box.
In game terms, he increases the objective control of the unit that he joins, and he also personally gets a 4 at Feel No Pain when he's on an objective. So if you,
That heroic last
yeah,
hand scene,
I mean,
yeah,
all the best
absolutely.
Space Marine artwork has got a banner bearer standing on an objective or a.
Yeah, it does
pilot
look like
dead
it
and
reminds
he's
me
on
of the
Space Marine
scene from
site. So,
Space Marine
absolutely
2.
just conjures that when you put him on the battlefields. And if you've got a Space Marine company, you've got to have a banner, right? Otherwise-
At least one. So, from the ancient, let's go to the librarian.
New librarian!
So, librarians obviously are the psychic
Wow.
weapon and protection.
It does
for
look
the
like a
Space Marine chapters.
reposed
This
Tigerius,
one
but in a good way.
Primaris armor. One of the first things I want to call out is the way that they've used the surface detail of this model to sort of inlay intricate sort of runes and patterns and
Similar
things
to
really
the
lean into
Terminator
sort of
librarian from the
mystical
Leviathan. It's
and
got those
slightly
runes
eldritch
like
nature of the
carved
librarians.
into the armor.
Yeah, so
I
we saw
like.
this for the first time on the Terminator Librarian
Yeah,
that came out. He had a similar sort of thing, but the size of the Primaris models basically has allowed the sculpting team to add in lots of extra kind of esoteric details. And you can see there on his leg, you can just paint it as blue if you want, or you can kind of make it glow. Some really lovely opportunities to show off your painting skills if you want to do. And this is exactly the sort of model where you'd want to have the chance to
So
show
I
off.
basically have, I think, one of every.
This is a nice librarian,
and,
very nice
one of the things
action
that's really
pose.
interesting is this
Looks like it would be good as
Echo
part of like
was
a
quite,
diorama.
closely another
filthy
Space Marine
psycho.
librarian that was made in plastic a while
Yeah, I
back.
love the
But
librarians.
this is kind of like his glow up. So I'm imagining this is the same guy having crossed the Rubicon.
Oh, but
Primaris
yeah, that's a
for me.
good idea.
A nice thing about this is that he actually squares up in a really cool way with the Orc Weird Boy. We were talking about this before we came on air.
Oh, wow, that's
See if
cool.
I can capture it. But essentially, if you look here, the rock formation that he stood on is like blasting forwards as if it's sort of being moved by the psychic energy. And then
Oh,
the
that's
Orc
quite
Weird Boy on
cool.
the other side, it's like you can almost see the
really
sort of
nice
unseen
pose.
psychic power blasting forward.
Yeah, so there's two sets of the characters in this box that are designed effectively to be a duel. So a lot of people who buy this box will buy it because they want a Space Marine army or Orc army and put it on the battlefield. But there are people who just want to paint really
Cool
awesome
models,
models,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And if you want to paint a diorama, this is a really cool one to kind of put together. The base is already sort of built in for you. It's a really cool little face-off between those two characters. The dynamism of the psychic powers is already evident in the way that they're posed.
Somebody in the chat says, he's a Blood Angel, why can't we have a red armoured one? And the answer for that is that all librarians pretty much are painted in blue armour because the librarians all wear blue armour, much like chaplains typically.
Yeah, there's a couple of Blood Angels
There's a few
librarians. I think
exceptions.
Mephiston obviously doesn't play by the
Mephiston
rule. He
is
writes his own rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
He writes his own rules. But all the rest of the Blood Angels librarians, since I think there were Blood Angels librarians, have always been blue.
Yep.
That has been true. I think he would.
No,
White
that's
Scar,
fair, though. That's
particularly
both
nicely.
same
I
as
think
my
he'd make an
knowledge.
Excellent White Scars librarian.
Yeah, no doubt. So what's next? So the chaplain, the star of the cinematic.
It's a nice
trailer,
chaplain. It's a
without
really
doubt,
nice
absolutely lays
box.
waste to so
Chaplain,
many
nice
orcs,
character.
Is this incredible Space Marines chaplain with jump pack? You were telling me before that you really feel like he keys into a Blood Angels theme, weren't you?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
all
he's
the models
very
in this
Blood
box set,
Angel-y,
all the
even though
Space
he's
Marines you
not
can
just a
paint as
Blood
any
Angel
chapter, but
chaplain.
I think there is something very Blood Angels about a chaplain with a jump pack. That is one of the iconic units of the
Looks
Blood
great.
Angels. Lots of your Blood Angel units have jump packs. That's the way they like to
also
fight.
that free
So having
handing
jump
around
pack
the blood
chaplains,
drops.
leading those, giving them extra bonuses is
Incredibly
very
impressive.
useful. He looks very Blood Angel-y to me. He would perfectly at home in a Dark Angel
These look
or a
very nice,
Ultramarine army
very
as well.
nice.
In game terms, this is a very powerful piece. Obviously, Chaplin's very good in close combat. The jump pack makes him get to close combat faster, so that's only a good thing. He gives you the +1 to wounds, so that's excellent on something like the Vanguard Veterans, also excellent on Assault
Number one
Intercessors,
model I
something
want to
like
think
that.
it's a
This
really
guy
nice sculpt.
also
Ben
does
is
mortal
so
wounds
nice.
to enemy units in combat.
don't
So as
blame
well
you,
as
that's
making the
so
unit
nice.
better and having a very scary combat stat line, he also does a bunch
What if I
of
were to
extra
paint
mortal
Vanguard
wounds.
vets as though they were Death
He's
Company?
just a
Ho
very
ho,
scary
delightedly
thing to come
devilish
barrel towards you
rusty.
alongside
I love it.
Space Marines with jump packs.
Any Space Marine chapter is going to be glad to have him. There was a question in the chat saying, does the librarian come with a helmeted option?
He does.
Yes,
He does.
absolutely.
A very
nice.
cool helmeted option.
I always worry it would interfere with my psychic powers.
It
Personally.
has
He does have
it has a
these
psychic hood
inlays,
built
yeah.
into the helmet. I don't know if we have a picture of that, unfortunately, but there is a.
I could rummage and try and find it on the
I mean,
frame.
yeah.
There we go.
I'm not sure that the camera is going to be able to capture it in quite all of its glory, but
You just have to trust me. It's a tiny little component on this frame.
it has a psychic hood built in.
But there we go.
Oh, nice. So there is a helmeted
Helmet
version
with
for
full
the
psychic inlays
librarian.
and stuff so that
Okay.
he can focus his.
If it didn't have plenty
mind
of
bursting
wing
powers.
SDRs, I'd be putting
Yeah.
Sanguine Guard back
In
on
game
him.
terms, the librarian, we talk about him, but he's a great
That'd be
little
cool.
addition to a Space
Or
Marine army.
the
He
new
gives you some
Venetarian
feel no
from
pain
Custodians would be
against
nice as
psychic
well.
attacks, and he also gives you an invulnerable save for the unit he joins. So he makes your intercessors very durable.
I do live in fear as I move the models around doing this of damaging an heavy metal model. If you're
They will
watching
hunt you
Heavy Metal
down
Team,
if you knock them over.
It's done with love.
Yeah.
Right. So the last of the character models in this selection is, of course, the Space Marine Captain.
That is a
What
really
a model.
nice
This is obviously
captain.
the leader for the Force. Here he
so
is with
nice.
Relic Sword and Relic Shield, and just replete with all of the
Relic
detail that
weapons
you'd
are
expect to
just
see
ridiculous.
for a leader of the Adeptus Astartes, including that Armageddon campaign badge hanging from his belt.
I think this model is just awesome, right? Like this is a
That's
really,
such a
really
nice
excellent
sculpt.
Space Marine Captain model. It's not like we were short on excellent Space Marine Captain models, but I think this one might be the best yet. There are so many lovely details. There's lots of really cool heraldic
I
opportunities.
feel like
to
it's
do
up there
fancy
with
stuff colour
the
scheme.
guy who had
this
the
model you
Auramite
might have
fist.
recognised as the
Shield, captain.
character
They
that
were
you
my
see
two-
on the
two-
front of the Armageddon box. He's the guy standing loud and proud right in the middle of that fight against the Orcs.
He's
And
giving
you can
me,
see that the colour scheme
Major
on this
Chip
model
Hazard
matches
from
exactly,
Small Soldier vibes.
what you see on the front of that box, which is really cool.
Like the,
There's some options in this kit as well. I think we'll
Just
talk
looks
about
like
the head
he's just
options
going to
in
be
a
a
second.
Gorgonites
In
mobilized.
game terms,
Take
this
out that
he does what Space
Gorgonites.
Marine Captain does, right? So you get to use your stratagems for one less command point, and then once a game he gets his finest hour where he gets devastating wounds and a bunch of extra attacks. So you can either have him at the heart of something like a Blade Guard
I
unit,
forgot about the
to
Custodians
make them
wings. I have to grab
absolutely,
some.
awesome in close combat, or you can add some real combat punch to something like an Intercessor unit.
Yeah,
Great
chat
model,
seems
too
to
busy
really
for me
like
to
this
paint
guy.
though.
He's
There's
great.
definitely a
They
lot
are right.
going on in
Correct,
this
chat.
box.
I
That is a
completely,
great model.
completely
Good
agree
choice.
with everyone who said it.
It's making me think it would look
I'm
really
with you.
nice as a
I found
salamander.
the frame which he's on. The captain actually comes with 3 heads options. I've built
'Cause
it
that's
as you
more
see here
ornate
with
options.
the hair that I wish I had. But you have a bear head. That's no helmet, not an animal in the woods.
He has 2
you also
swords,
have
both
this
for his
Mark
left
7
hand.
helmet with the laurels of victory on it, and
Because
then you have
reloading your
another
sword is
helmet
faster
which
than
is
switching
a
to your
Mark 10
secondary.
helmet with a crest
He had
running
2
front to
left-handed
back.
swords.
So particularly good for things like maybe Ultramarines and their successors would be.
Yeah, well,
Is it
what's
the
really
one
nice
behind
about
the
the
shield
captain, I
that you
think,
can
is
pull out, and then if
because
that
everybody
breaks,
wants their
stabs
captain
into
to
somebody,
kind of
you just pull out
embody
another
the
the
represent
chapter
them, yeah.
that they're in. You've got one there with the crest. I think would look really good, as you say, as Ultramarines. I think would make an excellent Imperial Fist as well.
Absolutely.
The one with the laurels, I think, looks very Blood Angel-y. I think that would look great. Or if we wanted to do like a Black Templar or something like that, I think
Some
you'd-
nice
And
Space
frankly,
Marines.
if you buy any Space Marine kits that are chapter specific, you end up with enough spare heads and bits and pieces that, like, again, it just attaches via a plug. Right? Snip that plug
Yeah.
off, and you
And
just
if
get
you
it.
get
or
your
if you
sword,
had
if you swing
because
it
the
hard
head comes
enough,
off,
right?
as you say, if you had something like a Space Wolf head or a Dark Angel head with the wings, it'd be very easy to add that onto that model and immediately make it very at home in whatever chapter you wanted.
Yeah,
Show
no
me
kidding.
the land speeder.
So
Show me the
really
land
a
speeder.
fantastic model. That brings us to our last miniature. Miniature is the right word in the Space Marine side of things, which is of course the Space Marine.
Oh, that's
land
so
speeder.
cool.
I'm really excited by this on a personal level. It fills a niche in my hobby life, which I'll
Oh.
explain later. But this is a reimagining of that classic land speeder chassis
It is
that
the
we saw
proper
first
classic one.
years ago. And it comes with some options. So here you can see on the screen,
This is so
you have
nice.
the multi-melter, and then you have the Onslaught Gatling cannon. And it's got new weapons on the wings, right, Eddie?
Yeah, so a multi-melter onslaught Gatling cannon on the front. You've got Storm Fury missiles underneath. They basically add a little bit of extra anti-armor punch. So if you want to use this as a tank hunting rapid strike thing, you absolutely can. The multi-melter
This is
combined
going to be proper
with the missiles
nostalgic
to
throwbacks
basically
to the
crack
other
missiles.
land speeder.
That makes it excellent at hunting down enemy vehicles. You've also got the option, if instead of the underslung Gatling cannon, you wanted to have a heavy flamer, you can swap that out and make it a very scary close assault transport. So if you want to
Pretty good for overwatching for your guys as well.
yeah, excellent stuff at Overwatch. So you can zip around, you can flame stuff, you can melt stuff. You can use this to get
That's
right
nice.
in the heart of the enemy army and just cause absolute chaos.
Yeah.
It's also got a very cool
It's
little
proper
special
making
rule,
me
which is
nostalgic to
called
the old
Purgation
Landspeeders.
Run. And basically, what that allows you to do is after you've shot in your shooting phase, you can move this thing d6 inches.
I
If you play
I
Warhammer
want to
40,000
see him
already,
move
you'll
it
know
on the
that
tabletop.
It's going to be
though.
an incredibly
That
useful
base makes
ability
me
because you
nervous.
can use it to do things like hop out from behind cover, shoot at the enemy, and then hop back safely. Or you can use it to do things like move forward, kill an enemy unit.
Look,
with
I
your
like the base, but
Gatling
I
cannon
doubt
or
you'll get that
multi-melter
in
or flamers, and then
the
move
model.
on and
What, the
take their
base? What with the
objectives. So
smoke?
that's a
Yeah, I
really
think you do.
useful
I think that's the
little
base for it. I
ability.
think Sanjiro.
This has a lot of firepower for the relatively small.
No flying
chassis.
stand for it. I think it
so
is just
we're gonna
that
see a lot
smoke
of land
base.
speeders in Space Marine armies.
A fun thing to point
This
out
is
here
as
as well
is
while
in
we're
the box,
talking
I
about it
think.
is,
I think it's
I'll
very
show you
much
the frame.
sculpted.
So here you can see this rocky outcrop
There you
that
go.
the model is based on.
Literally,
If
yeah,
you
it's a
end
sculpted
up with
base.
having multiple land speeders in your force and you don't want them all to have an identical rocky outcrop, the kit also contains this piece here, which is essentially the sort of the fin that hangs down beneath the land speeder, so you can build them with that and then attach it to the base via.
Oh, that's really
storm.
cool. If you
So
don't
you
want the
get
rocky
an extra
outcrop,
tactical rock that you can do.
Well, yes,
it's
exactly.
on there that
so,
you can have it
so I
elsewhere.
think the expectation, because it's a push, everything in this is push fit, that you would use the one with the tactical rock for this, but then if you trade with your friends and end up having two, they don't have to be the same if you don't want them
That's
to. Which
really
I thought
cool.
was quite a nice feature.
They thought
I
about
love
that.
this. Very excited.
Reminds me of the
I'll
Land
talk more
Speeder
about it
Tornado
later.
in those days used to
there
have
were some
metal
questions about the
upgrades to
scale
make a
of things in
tornado.
relation to the orcs,
Yes.
So I'm just going to quickly do the
Here
orc
was the
knob,
style at the time.
which I've kept on the side, and stand him alongside just a Space Marine intercessor, and then put an orc boy on the other side, because people were wondering how the scale was. These orc boys are beefy boys, but the size is pretty much what you'd expect.
Okay, yeah,
The
that's
orc
about
knob
right.
Is enormous.
Yeah, the Orc Boys are about the same size as the Orc Boys are today, but I think more detail, more characterful.
The
Orc
orcs
knobs are
are
eye level with
really
a Space Marine and about
interesting,
twice as wide.
more
so,
than the Marines.
They are
Not in a. I
chunky-
don't think the Marines are
chunky
bad. Those
The other thing
orcs just
to
look
say, I suppose,
phenomenal.
is you'd mentioned the idea of a dual piece. We'd already talked about the Weird Boy and the Librarian. So here is essentially the face-off that you can make with the Space Marine Captain and the Orc War Boss, and they do just look
that's
great
cool.
going up against each other, sort of capturing that scene in the trailer where you have the axe grinding against the relic shield.
Yeah, and again, the bases there that you can get the idea that the rocks are sort of part of the same rock formation. They're designed.
I do like
to go,
that idea,
Imagine
that
they have
they
a slightly
look
bigger base. You
together.
can put them on, make
Hero
a really
Rock!
fire armor together.
Yeah,
The
but
Rock
actually
is
a nice
the
little
MVP,
piece.
Yeah,
the
I
hero
think we
of the
will see
box.
some, probably.
No kidding.
could say it
right.
rocks.
So that is all of the models from the Space Marine side. We've done the orcs. So that's all of the things that come inside Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon. We've talked a little bit about the fact that you don't have to paint these in the colours of the models that you
Did it
see
have the
here.
Blood Angels? Yeah.
And so we've actually got some examples from the Heavy Metal team of other
Ooh,
Space
nice.
Marine chapters
Oh, they're painted.
that they've painted. And
Crimson
these are using
Fists.
the decals that you'll find inside the kit. And these are also forces that you'd expect to see present on Armageddon.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Crimson
here,
Fist.
the Crimson
Wait, does that mean we're going to get a
absolutely
plastic
stunning paint job.
Pedro
That's
Cantor?
incredible work. Crimson Fist is, of course, synonymous with wars against the orcs.
Cantor.
And he just looks wonderful. A White Scar. Again, the White Scars have turned up in significant numbers to join Operation
that's
Imperator.
cool.
And so here is an intercessor.
White
He's got
Scars
the
mentioned,
grenade
Jagatai
launcher option.
returning.
It's pretty handy in the game as well, I'm not going to lie. I've been enjoying that. And then, obviously, a Space Marine
that's nice.
Eradicator of the Salamanders chapter. And one of the things they've done a wonderful job here, just to shout out to the crazy skills of the Heavy Metal team, is
so
taking
nice.
that sort of lava effect at the bottom on the flat plates to really make use of those open spaces.
Yeah, I really like the
That's
Eradicators,
pretty.
those
That's-
big
ooh.
sections on the front of the Heavy Bolter to kind of show off whatever it is that makes your Space Marine chapter unique. You can imagine that works equally well with a very heraldic scheme. If you
He's
had
actually
something
really
like,
confused under the helmet.
Howling
He's like,
Griffins
this
or
isn't a
something. It
flamer.
would look very cool painted up with kind of any thematic thing. Look great.
Absolutely.
Seen
so
the librarian,
here,
the weird
first of all,
boy
we get to show
thinking
two
about
things.
that
One,
special
which is how much
wizard rules
faster
and
at
white
painting
dwarf.
you are.
Ooh,
than
that would
the
be
times.
cool.
Exactly so. And
Yeah,
the
some
second is
psychic
how
tools.
mediocre our paint skills are compared to the Heavy Metal team. But we wanted to show how much we've enjoyed getting to grips with some of this.
Oh, it's their own painted
Here are
models.
some
That's really
examples
nice.
of our own models. Here is my land speeder, and I'm going to wax lyrical for a minute. I brought along a little friend for him, and this is why I'm excited, right? So I've been a Dark Angels collector for a very long time. My favourite thing about the Dark Angels is the Raven Wing and their sort of hunt for the fallen, and their act as the vanguard of the Dark Angels army. And within the Dark Angels, there's a particular thing that happens with their force organisation. So the first company is the Death Wing, the second company is the Raven Wing, and the Raven Wing act typically in squads of 10 operating as a Raven Wing attack squadron. Now, in days of
That's
yore,
kinda cool.
that was 6 bikes, an attack bike, and a land speeder
remember it well.
for 10 men. But with the Primaris era, I got very excited by the Outrider bikes and the ATV, but that got to 8. And then when the land speeder came along, and I've got one here actually, I can show you.
What's it got?
The Storm Speeder?
There you go, the Storm Speeder. Beautiful model. It's 3, and so it doesn't add up in the weird
wrong
math
amount.
that I've got going on in my head. You can see how it scales alongside the land
Well,
speeder.
it's interesting
really
to see
nice.
the Storm
But
Speeder
this
versus the land
enables me
speeder.
to once again get back to that sort of perfect
The magic
sacred
10.
magic
Yeah.
10 that I seek with my Dark Angels army. So
Has
that was
Eddie
the
been
first thing I
painting,
painted. I was
Carchargons?
very excited to have a Primaris era Raven Wing attack squadron. I yield the microphone to Eddie.
Yeah, well, I've painted them as well. I've done a couple of Space Marines and a couple of Orcs. I did a Long Fang for my Space Wolves. That's
Oh,
one
This
of
is
Space
in the
Wolf.
colours of the army you took.
That's
to
what
the-
it
Yeah,
was.
absolutely. I'm expanding that. So it is
That's really
the
nice.
Red Moors. So painted him up as a Long Fang. I did some hazard stripes there on the
Bonus
front.
points
Oh,
for
right.
hazard stripe.
You've got to put hazard stripes on. Otherwise, how do you know which end is
I did,
dangerous?
right?
quite
Eddie's,
easy.
not
They
that I
also
thought
did,
Eddie wasn't a good
I
painter. I
wanted
didn't
to
realise
do
Eddie was
something
such a
a
good
bit
painter.
more
This is
heraldic.
phenomenal.
I did a Stormlord Space Marine. That is one of the chapters that features in Operation Imperator as one of the Space Marines, a White Scar successor, battling
they're
currently
stunning,
on
they
the
are.
plains of Armageddon. And then I painted a couple of Orc units for my Orc army, the Squigtown Scrappers. First off, I've got the War Boss. I've got a few War Bosses, but I'm looking forward to using the new Cleave mechanic to chop through lots of Space Marines next time I go up against them. And of course, I couldn't not paint the Dakar rig, could I? I had a great time
So
painting
cool.
him, and he's going to lead my Dread mob. I think I've got about 7 or 8 Dreadnoughts, various
So
different
he's
types.
kind of the mech
They're-
who made
they're-
them.
Yeah, he's
all
going to be the
battle.
mech that's
Very,
made
very
the Dreadnoughts
gorgeous.
and kind of march behind them, watching his creations as they blast through Space Marine or whoever else forces.
Well, there we go. And I'm absolutely made up because somebody said a nice thing in the chat about my the base on my Outrider bike.
very nice.
So that's it. I'm stoked. There we are. So
It's been
I'm
a
just
very
super
wholesome
excited for Warhammer
preview so
40,000
far.
Armageddon. It's a genuine enthusiasm because I love Space Marines more than almost anything. So
true.
This is just a
I
good
can
time
vouch
to
for
be
that.
alive.
Are we seeing anything
Chat,
else?
you've been wonderful joining in the conversation, asking so many questions. It's been really good to have you here. Now is your last chance to get some questions in there if you've got any. Eddie, while I let the chat fill up, what's your favourite thing in
Oh,
the set?
is
Pick
that
one thing.
it?
Oh, one thing.
I mean, to
I'm
be fair, that's
obviously
all I
very
said it
excited
was gonna
about
be.
all of the
I
orcs. I think
actually
they're
couldn't
immediately
be
going
shocked.
into my Warhammer 40,000 Orc army once I can get them painted. But I am actually probably most excited about the lore and background in Operation Imperator.
I like the idea of this
I
book of
really
lore.
like Armageddon. I think it's one of my favourite locations in the Warhammer 40,000 universe.
No
I get
pink
very
orcs,
warm,
loads of
fuzzy,
purple
nostalgic
orcs, though.
feelings,
Loads of
thinking
purple
back to
orcs.
the
They were
original
really nice.
Wars for Armageddon.
Really,
that I
really
got
nice.
to play years back, and actually seeing the
whole table of Covenant.
battlefield and the war zone of Armageddon, all the different hives and locations explored in super detail in a good old-fashioned, old-school campaign book is absolutely wonderful. I've been loving it.
Great. If I was picking a thing, it would be very difficult. My heart says, say, the land speeder because it fills such a weird little niche in my own hobby.
Yeah,
brain.
I do
But
like
my
their
head
t-shirts.
says
Their Armageddon
that
t-shirts.
The Dakar rig really steals the show. it's an just incredible piece of design work. You know, I've been in the Warhammer hobby now for 36 years, and every now and again something comes along that genuinely leaves me speechless at first blush, and this was one of those things.
I love that it basically looks like a giant mechanized squig as well. You can, if you sort of squint and imagine it's the big walking squig. It's got the jaws, it's got the legs, it's got the sort of pondus.
I honestly thought it was going to be like something they're riding an old squigoth or something.
So a bunch of questions that maybe we can cover off. The most prevalent one is any news on a release date, Eddie?
So we're not going to tell you the exact release date today. We will say that it will be released in June. Perfect. So by the end of June, you can have your Armageddon box in your hands and be building up and playing the new edition.
Lovely.
Okay,
somebody said, what about Crusade? And the nice thing about the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 is that essentially Crusade was a way in this current edition of Warhammer 40,000 of making your games feel extra narrative. All games of Warhammer 40,000 have got that narrative injected into their very DNA now.
Yep.
And if you want to take it
so
down
is
to level,
Crusade now no longer a thing?
Deck to sort of link your games together with a full campaign, should be really exciting for you. Somebody said, where do we get our T-shirts from? Eddie and I got these T-shirts at Adepticon.
We did, along with 1,000 other people in the room.
Yeah, we hosted the preview.
So if you want cool swag, then come to our events and get cool swag.
That is exactly where I was going with that. Adepticon is one heck of an event, and whilst the sound wasn't perfect,
been there, done that.
Preview,
got the T-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Answer the questions.
So, somebody beat me to the joke. That was great. Somebody in the chat's also got the T-shirt. Well done, you. Right. We are about done, I think it is fair to say. Chat, you've been lovely. It's been so nice having you here joining us. Everybody in the room who's moved models around so carefully and with such speed, thank you for helping make this preview happen, for pushing all the buttons and making us
well, it's only next month.
If you want more information,
you got to think, end of June seems ages away. It's only next month.
Pictures, if you've been trying to screen grab and that's just not working for you, warhammercommunity.com has articles which cover all of the models that you've seen here in probably more detail than Eddie and I have rambled.
They do actually also have some very lovely pictures of other miniatures and other paint schemes that we weren't able to show. So
there you go.
If you want to see the Space Marines painted up as salamanders,
60 days
or white
ish.
stars,
Yeah, not too long now.
Crimson Fists, they've got some great shots.
Fantastic. So all that remains is to say thank you, everybody. It's been lovely having you here. We'll see you again very soon.
Oh, there we go. There we are. I mean, that was exactly what they said it was going to be. I would love to have seen the teaser, but there wasn't. They did say it's just going to be us unboxing the box. Okay, cool. That is one box unboxed. What is everyone's thoughts? What are we all thinking? Yeah, that did the thing. Yeah. I feel like I'm like, yeah, that was the thing. I am very, very. I think that was probably one of the nicest launch box sets we've seen in a while. Not that I thought Leviathan or any of them were bad. I just think everything in that box looks like it's had a really lovely amount of attention to it. So, I feel sad for Adam and his ATV. He's like, aww. I think I'll pre-order the core rules, maybe not the launch box though. That's fair. That's fair. As a non-40k player, it looks good. That's it. Like, I feel like the orcs have captured me way more than I thought they were going to, which is kind of blowing my mind a little bit. So let's have a look and see what articles they've put up on the. We get a little bit more. Let's have a look. So this is another look at the models on here. It looks great, but really interesting two models, the Chaplain and the Landspeeder. The Landspeeder are really, really nice. I think the Landspeeder looks fantastic. But, and this Captain's stunning, right? This Captain is beautiful. I do like the A5 rule. Yes, A5 rulebooks. I feel like A5 codexes and rulebooks are the way forward. I'm a big, big believer in that. I think that is the way we should be moving forward with it. Because they're much easier to carry around. They look fantastic. Like, very, very, very gorgeous. No worries, Rusty. We will catch you later, my friend. You get yourself some sleep, and we will see you hopefully on Sunday. The orcs, Luna, the orcs look phenomenal, don't they? They look stunning. But yeah, this will be up for pre-order then next month. So, it'll be available in your hands next month for anyone who does pre-order it. So, gut reaction so far, if we say this is going to be the same price as Leviathan, potentially at like $150, what's your thoughts? And are people thinking, yeah, they'll pick this up or not? I'm sorely as somebody who going into this preview, I was very much like I'm not gonna pick this box up because I don't do orcs and I don't need any more marines. I am now more on the fence than I thought I was going to be, because I like there was everything about that I liked. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to be with it. Probably grab a couple of speeders off eBay for my Raven Wing. See, that's the bit I'm not sure on. Rather than buy the launch box, do I just pick up the models I want from on the second-hand market? I don't know. Model count for each army. So you have... so we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... how many in the Intercessor squad? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 on the Space Marines. So we got 23 models on the Space Marine side. And then I think it was, from what the count was, the Orcs, there's a lot more of them. I think it was 30-something orcs, because there was 2 squads of 10, plus the Grots and the Gretchens. So, 23 brand new push-fit Space Marines and 38 new push-fit orcs. Oh, there we go. Nice. I like price per models costing. So, again, we're only estimating the price. If the estimated price is going to be around the 150 mark, similar to Leviathan, then you're talking in total, you have, what, 61 new models? So, what's that then? It's what, 61, so you're talking, why my brain not mathing, like one, was that one? No, that 250 a model? Is that right? Am I mathing right there? Yeah, it's about right. 60 models, £2 a model will be 120. £2.50. Yeah, it's about that. About £2.50 a model. Which actually, when you put it that way, sounds great. It's about right, I think. So, I think I'd be very happy pricing each Marine £3 per Marine and 15 for a vehicle. So 81 is about great. So it wouldn't surprise me if this box is more around the 160 mark then. Plus, that's only per model, and that doesn't include the rules, the extra lore book, and the 2 decks of cards. There's also all of that to consider as well. So I think 160 is probably about right price-wise. That's probably where I'm thinking it's going to be roughly. So, yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, 160 seems about right. These look great. The land speeder, though, it looks phenomenal. I want to see the other painted land speeders. A big fan of the classic land speeders. Oh, they look nice as salamanders. Nice to see Crimson Fists getting a bit of love. Ooh, that's nice. The white scars, the half white, half blue. Very nice. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more though, like $179.99. I feel like I'm unsure, because I feel like because it's a launch box, it's normally like priced pretty competitively, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's almost a little bit more in the printing costs in this box versus the Leviathan one, because it has the 2 decks of cards. But I think it's probably negligible. I'm going to comfortably say 160 to maybe 165. I think. So is what I'm kind of thinking. And also probably taking into consideration that GW, given the current climate of the world and the fact that all of their stuff is made of plastic, are probably one of the few companies who haven't hiked up their prices in line with material costs skyrocketing. So on that basis, so yeah, I think I'm comfortably saying 165. Well, at most. Misfits reckon in 150 to 160 to 180, so you reckon more. I think 180 would be the max because of the law book. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, I can't imagine more than 180. So, it's starting to become like a game show. Higher, lower, guess the price is... Are we going higher or lower? Higher or lower than the queen... higher or lower than 7? Higher or lower than 7? 7 diamonds? You're going to go higher? It's the queen! Some classic throwback game show there for Bruce Forsyth. The orcs, though, I think stole the show. The orcs are stunning. These orcs are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. These are so pretty. There's so much going on, though. And I think that's one thing that's to kind of think about. Is like the models these days are getting so much more detailed, which you don't think is a bad thing. But then it's quite a bit of painting work to do on the models. No worries, Benny. We will catch you later. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, these look great. The orcs look phenomenal. Like they look like they've really been sculpted with a lot of care and a lot of love. Like really, really, really look like they have done, which looks fantastic. Looks stunning. Do. I was going to sell the orc half, but not anymore. Ooh, I feel like there's probably a lot of people in that same boat. Like, the Pain Boy itself looks great. The Weird Boy is very, like, rah. I feel like that's it. If I was to get the box, I would paint the... I'd paint the Marines as salamanders, and I'd do red orcs. So I'm just flipping the colours, right? Not green orcs and blood angels. I'll just do it the other way around. Oh. And even the boys and everything, and the knobs with the boys look great. They do look fantastic. That's the one that was on the preview. And even that slight change now that they can have a chopper and a shooter is a really good change. Hey, little squig.
I want to get stuck in with the boys.
Thank you for that, newbie. Yeah, these look fantastic. They just look great. These are the angriest mushrooms you've seen. You get 10 of these. Wow. So that's a chunk of these. If I did it in a big if, I would lean into Crimson Fists for the Space Marines. Ooh. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a reasonable amount of Space Marines on the second-hand market. Because I think there's going to be a lot of happy Orc players who just want this the Orc half. Whereas I think in previous years, we've seen a lot of the Xenos half going really cheap. I think this might be the first year that people are buying this for the Orcs and then selling on the Marines. So that's what I reckon we could see a lot of. Not that there's anything wrong with the Marines, I just think the Orcs are just kind of show-stoppingly like, ooh. Seems like a lot of the Marine stuff is kind of niche. As in what's in the box? Or... I do think the Orcs have the better showing. The Marines are getting there to the point where they're not so much left to right. I think that's it. Marines are kind of getting to that stage now where there's... I think what we will see is with the latest codex, when they bring out a new one, or if they bring out a new one anytime soon for Marines, I wouldn't be surprised if we see updated Devastator squad and maybe Centurions, unless Centurions are being fully retired off. I think apart from some main named characters, most of the Firstborn stuff has now been upgraded or rescaled or retuned. So I'd like to see an Assault Terminator squad, though. It's the Orc models that's tempting me by buying the box, though I haven't bought a box previously. They're normally they're nice boxes to get because, like, my downside is I still have my Marine half of Leviathan and my Marine half of Indomitus untouched. I never really do much with the Marine halves because I get so excited by the Xenos half, and then I kind of speed through building and painting that, and then I burn myself out. I love the Necrons. I had a blast doing my Tyranids. And with the Marines, because I think Marines for me have always been... I have a 3,000 point Blood Angels army, which I think a lot of it now probably won't be playable because it was all very heavily Dreadnought based, and Librarian Dreadnoughts aren't a thing. A lot of my Death Company and Assault Squads probably haven't all got the wrong weapons. So the Marines for me have always been a bit of I've got to redo a lot of my my army. So I guess I've kind of been like I've been building up the backlog ready to go, but just haven't actioned it. And I don't really know why. I don't have a problem painting Marines. I just don't really know why. But I feel like the Orcs, though, again, this would be a situation where I grab it and I'm like, Orcs. It is interesting, though, no terrain in the box, but I imagine the terrain would come in the box, which will be the starter sets. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did 3 starter sets again, which will probably be Intercessors versus Boys, maybe the Gretchens. I reckon then it would be like the middle tier one would probably be throw in 1 or 2 of the characters, maybe the Eradicator squad, and then it would be this sort of style box again, without the book and without the cards for the Ultimate Edition, I imagine. Space Marine Paint-a-thon. We could do a Space Marine Paint-a-thon. Speaking of Paint-a-thon, actually, I need to announce the Palooza. I need to announce the Palooza. Dun, 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 dun. So, yeah, that is being... big stretch. That is being announced. I have been slammed at work all day, so I'll be honest, I haven't written the post yet, but I will announce it on Sunday. But I might cheekily announce it tomorrow in the Discord, but then we'll chat about it on Sunday. Maze Palooza is alive. It's alive! These look great. Oh, I love this broken, ripped up bit of terrain here. The salamanders, that's cool. Everything else, so the new A5 core rulebook, which I'm a big fan of. A 2026 to 2027 chapter approved mission deck. That's probably the biggest change. Chapter approved now being the fact that it is not just match play. Chapter approved being kind of everything. Is interesting. I don't think it's a bad change. I do think that a lot of people didn't buy chapter approved because they didn't want to play match play. They just wanted to play kind of open war. I guess combining the decks together now gives people that opportunity to kind of branch into both. The Dominatus campaign deck, so this is their thing that now links things together. So you can set agendas that go across the multiple different games. There's a lot of things as well on here that you can get upgrades for standout units. This feels like a deck version of Crusade. Reading between the lines of what Andy was saying with that question about Crusade at the end, I kind of get the impression Crusade is now... There'll be nothing stopping you from running the Crusade rules because the campaigns, but I feel like this is replacing that. Streamlining it down for it. That means it probably means it's going to reduce how much goes in the codexes, because the codexes for 10th edition had a load of rules for Crusade, so now it's just a case of you either have them or you don't have them. Data sheets for your units. Really nice transfer sheet with some Crimson Fists on there. 728 transfers. Woo! That's a lot of transfers. And then the exclusive book, which has all of the rules for all of the lore, only lore about what's going on Armageddon. So no rules in this one, but the fact this is the only thing they've said that is exclusive to the Armageddon box. This will be the only place you can get this. So it's going to have Armageddon, Operation Imperator, Angels of Faith, Theatres of War, Orcish Hordes, Dark Millennium. Operation Imperator. Is there an Imperator Titan? Somewhere? A chronicle of the beginning stages of Operation Imperator, from the opening landings to the initial skirmishes, and the first pitched battles between the Space Marine Liberators and the Orc Invaders. I'm not so happy to have a major lore book locked into a Phobo box. I think it's an interesting one that it's the first time they've done this. That the lore is being kind of locked away. But I suppose the only thing I'd say with it is that one of the biggest complaints people had about the core rulebook was that it was such a big thing to carry around. Having all of the lore for the latest edition in that big thick book annoyed quite a lot of people. I'll see if I have my book behind me. I do not. So I think this is them kind of listening, but going, we separate out the lore and the cool rulebook. I do agree having it in the Armageddon box is an interesting choice. I'm intrigued to know if there's any backlash on that. And then this is... Oh, Black Templars mentioned. Black Templars. So this is talking about the maps and what's been going on. So the Black Templars are there for you, Super Weasel. Just not quite. Just weren't featured on the tactical sheet. Some stunning artwork on this. This is really, really nice. These are great. So yeah, so no updates beyond the fact that it is going to be coming out in June. And that's about all we've got, really. It's coming out in June. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I don't really know what else to say about that, really. Like, kind of... I feel like it was exactly what I was expecting. They revealed the box, and the box looked great. It's kind of it. I don't really think there was anything else. Nice to see the sprues. It was nice that they did some comparison sizes wise. Almost kind of thinking in the back of my mind, am I missing something here? Is there something I'm kind of slightly missing? Like, was there some? I don't know. My brain's like, am I missing something here? I don't think I am. I don't think. Am I? Maybe? No. Am I missing something? My brain's like, am I? No, I don't think so. I think it all looks great. The orcs, though, particularly have kind of blown my mind. The orcs look phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Really, really gorgeous. Do it. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. No, I don't know. I don't need another box. I don't need it. No. Bad newbie. I definitely don't need another box. I could have one, but I don't know. I don't need one. And right. I think we're at this point now where I can glue these onto the bases. This is nerve-wracking gluing these onto the bases, because once they're on, that's it, we're done. Ooh. My brain is like, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. But I'm also like, do I need it? Do I need it? No, I don't need it. I don't need the box. I don't need the box. Do I? Is this so conflicting? No, I don't think I will. I think there is nothing. Everything in that box is fantastic. I just don't know if I definitely don't need another box to of models that are just gonna sit on the shelf. No. I don't know. The orcs look really nice. This is so conflicting. It's so conflicting right now. What are you thinking, chat? Though, do you think you're all gonna pick up the box? There seemed to be a lot of love for the orcs. A lot of love for the orcs from you guys. And okay, back on the Custodes now. Back on the Custodes for a little bit. If you don't get the box, you're more than welcome to get to the cards if I get it. I won't be playing. I'm just painting. This is the thing I'm not sure of. I think it's going to come down to is that I did not play a single game of 10th. I played a couple of games of Combat Patrol, but I did not play any games of 10th, which is something that's going in the back of my mind here. Like, I have to kind of think logically about, am I going to do anything with this, if that makes sense? I've got to be kind of like, have a think. So, it's a tricky one. It's really tricky. Doom. Yeah, it does make things a little bit more on the difficult side of figuring out what to do with that, because a lot of it is from obviously the gaming perspective. Is the goal then that I go back, I game more, but then the problem is time. That's obviously the main reason I don't game as much as I used to, is I don't have the time. Oh, have I left my... I think I did. I don't know. I could definitely make more time to game, but I'd have to give up playing more like Magic and things like that, which is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's just more of a... Did anyone try the boarding actions one? Got a mate who was interested with the means. It's good fun. It is good fun. I played the kill team side of it and one of the games from Arcs of Omen.
Do it.
I enjoyed that. That was good fun. That was good. That was a good laugh. Because it's small games, and it's quite nice to just kind of you're laying siege. The narrative behind it, like you're boarding a ship and laying siege, I thought was really, really cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And let's paint it up, the cloak. And I have to use the right brush. Do it. Boarding actions just laying siege to a ship, just like a Tau Fire would. It would, just like they would. I'm sad I didn't get to play more of that on Wednesday. We'll dive into playing more of that next week. 100%. Looking forward to looking forward to finishing that off next week. I reckon we are like close to finishing. I imagine there's not many more levels in the game. Another one. Just grabbing the right brush. Nothing. But it's really good fun because it was like kind of like the whole interacting with like opening doors, going through doors. You don't know what's on the other side. Just the tight navigation part of it. So it kind of added to the thrill of the game really well. I thought boarding actions was very well executed as a game system. So speaking of game systems and announcements, did anybody see the announcement from the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy that came out yesterday? It is not more paints, but I believe they are designing their first official either set of models or a full game, which is interesting, called Death Reaper Games. So yeah, they have a website called Death Reaper Games, where you can sign up. There is not much information on there at the moment. It is quite literally just this, their website. There's literally not much on there. But they've got this new brand. In the trailer video, yeah, you can't even press any of these buttons. in the trailer video, if I can find the trailer, they did show off some silhouettes of miniatures. So let me just grab that if I can. And where are we at? Also wild that this was 6 years ago, can I just say. So this was the video. And there's not really much sound to it, so we'll just play without the sound. But yeah, this was the video. It was just saying 6 years ago we started the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy. Da 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 da. Now it is time for another adventure. Death Reaper Games. Silhouettes. Let's look at those silhouettes. Coming soon. I would imagine there might be an announcement at UK Games Expo. But I am incredibly happy. I thought I liked that earlier. I'm incredibly excited by this, which is going to be very, very cool. I want to pause on the silhouettes if we can. Yeah, look like kind of a fancy style, which wouldn't surprise me if they were going down that route. So there we go. So it looks like we have... Oh, go away, pause. Oh. Looks like some sort of Minotaur in the middle under the play button, the pause button. Looks like some sort of skeleton. Maybe vampire or witch. Could be like a bedraggled like warrior. Looks like some sort of evil, big bad evil guy. Standard sort of... That looks like the Duncan Rhodes model. There's a Gizmo the Pug! That's the main thing. Gizmo the Pug is getting another sculpt. There is no information on if these are going to be plastic, metal, if they're going to be part of a game system. I imagine if it's called Death Reaper Games, I imagine there will be a game system. But yeah, I know absolutely nothing beyond what is in this trailer. But as I find out more information, I will definitely let you know. But I'm excited for this. Yes, Gizmo the Pug! It is, yeah, that is a Duncan's dog Gizmo, which I actually have a sculpt for already. One of the free ones that came with... where did I put them? Don't forget where I put it. I've got too many drawers. I don't know where I put them. I have a drawer somewhere full of all of the models I got as bonus models from back in the Kickstarter. I just don't know where. I could have sworn they were in here. I mean, that feels perfectly on brand for me, right? I don't know where something is. But yeah, I've got a sci-fi version of Gizmo and a fancy version of Gizmo, which is incredibly cute. Which I think is really cool. But yeah, I think that the Armageddon box looks really nice. I like everything that's kind of... They've sort of showing off from it as well, which I think it looks great. But I am very intrigued by this Duncan Rhodes announcement as well. This Death Reaper Games. I feel like I'm always up for more really nice, pretty miniatures. But I also think the way Roger and Duncan are, when I've seen them on their videos and when I've met them at conventions and things, they seem like they really want people to just have fun things to paint and to play games, and are aware that like time is precious. So I almost get the idea that if they're creating some sort of game system, I think it's going to be a pretty good... I can imagine it's a pretty well thought out system. And a game that doesn't take up too much time or isn't too demanding. on both both time and money. But as long as it's a quality game, that's the main thing. Dum dum dum. Thank you for the hydration, Weeaboo. Mm-hmm. That was so audible and close to the mic. I'm so sorry. Just bloop. That's so loud. Let custodies. I think they will do something. Yeah, I feel like it was Games Expo they'll do it. If I miss them at Games Expo, I suspect I'll see them at Tabletop Scotland. Nice. Yeah, Tabletop Scotland's definitely getting bigger and bigger now, which is good. Is Tabletop Scotland this year? Is that where are they hosting that this year? Edinburgh or Glasgow or elsewhere? I haven't seen where it is this year. I have sent you a business query over Discord. Just letting you know. Ooh, can you send it to me via the email through the website? Just because if it's in Discord, I will absolutely forget. But just because I don't check my Discord DMs hugely often. Normally full of spam and people trying to sell me emotes. So I as much as I will keep an eye on it with the best will of intentions, I know I will forget. I know I am a fallible human. But yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to know. Yeah, I'll check it out after I finish stream. Thank you. And you have finally finished. Hell yes. What is the plan for the evening? And of course, bank holiday. Are you off much over the bank holiday, or are you working? Still Islington, Edinburgh Airport. Thinking they may be there. If it expands, then only really Glasgow SECC could. Yeah, I've been to an event at the Glasgow one before. It's all right. Yeah. I haven't been to one at the Islington one though, so I'll have to check that out. I'm constantly on the lookout for more events to go to, and any excuse to go up to Scotland to see some friends is always warranted. But yeah, this year I've got so Games Expo, end of the month. We've got Fen Model Show, and then was it Games Expo, Fen Model Show? I did ChillCon earlier on in the year, and then I may look at squeezing another one in later in the year if I can. I am just going to take her off the base because I need to access the undercloak. Luckily she's just super glued on, so she should hopefully just ping off if I've done this right. There we go. But fascinated by your blocking in sections of the cloak for this model. Oh yeah, so this is just I've got two different tones of red on the cloak. Says how I'm doing it at the minute. So I'm blocking in the first red first, and then I'll go over with the more vibrant red for the outer part of the cloak. Is the plan similar to what we did on the first custode? It's something about painting cloaks that is very like satisfying. And then we're gonna try and do some stippling, which we did for the first time on the other cloak. So I'll show her in a minute. So the idea is hopefully just to try and get some texture on it, which is what we did on this model. So there's like a little bit of like a patterny texture on it. So similar sort of vibes that we're going for these two. Verity hath returned. How are we, Verity? How was your time? What did you get up to? Did you have fun gaming? Thank you, Mecca. I will pick that up later. Thank you. It's only because I know I will miss. I will read the Discord message and go cool, whereas my email yells at me if I don't respond. Which is probably the right move. So, I'm working on building a VR gun stock, so I need some printing. Ooh, oh, that's cool. Or is that for like a meta quest or something? This paint does not want to go on particularly smoothly. I feel like there's maybe I didn't mix it enough. This is the right red. Yeah, because I did put a dark wash over it, so it's fine. Yes. Yeah, looking at the reds on my wet palette, this is the right red. Let's get this on here. Down here. I don't know why I'm not wearing gloves and I'm doing this very clumsily. So I ordered an airsoft shoulder stock and some aluminium tubing. I just need the controller cups printing. Ooh. I have an old Samsung Odyssey, so no one makes gun stock parts. That's fair. What games are you playing in VR? I've not done huge amounts of VR gaming. It's something that I've kind of like always been like, ooh, that could be really fun. I've played there was a place in Birmingham that you used to be able to go and like stand in one of the like VR pods, and they had like immersive sort of like vibrations and everything for it, which was really fun. And I played a lot of the zombie game, the Arizona Sunshine one. That was good fun for a shooty FPS. Just kind of no nonsense, like you'd link up with everyone else who was there. It was a good laugh. No nonsense, just shoot some zombies. It made sense. Well, I have some driving games for use in the wheel and pedals for Elite Dangerous, but also have some shooters, so need the gun stock to work with. That's fair, so you can be like, which is very cool. So it feels a little bit more immersive. Well, I'm sure I can help you out. Yeah, if you've got files for it, I can knock you up a price for those. Yeah, to be fair, every time I get like somebody emailing me with a custom order, I always forget that I need to really change how I do the custom order form on the website. Every time I try and update it, it breaks. So I'm just like, I need to tweak and update that. And yeah, I need to play, but at the minute I've only been sat kind of playing Slay the Spire on my Steam Deck. I haven't really played much recently since I finished Mass Effect earlier in the year. So I'm kind of like, Yeah, I need to play more. I've got Arc Raiders that I do want to sit and play. I haven't tried it yet. It's kind of feeling like I just want to... I'm hoping, though, to get loads of painting done. I've got a few extra days off, obviously, with the bank holiday, and a few cheeky days of annual leave to extend the leave. So I'm hoping I can get some painting done. My plan is to get a lot of these custodies hopefully finished off, or at least this squad. Wow, I've been very messy there. Ooh, yeah, back again. Transfer to mobile. No worries. I need to send an email about the Egyptian model painted. Yes. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That is actually sat on the side. It's sat to my right. It's on top of my printer, so whenever I use the printer, it's meant to remind me. It doesn't. It does not. It is always a tricky thing. It's always one of those things. I'm like, I must remember to do that. Oh, look, squirrel. That's my brain in a nutshell. That's that one. I'm just trying to work out which red I did in the shoulder pads. I'm going to have to go back and watch my own VOD. I think it was the brighter red. That's fine. Well, I've got it on the brush. Let's get a slightly more detailed brush. Where have you gone? One's the one. Yeah, I'll do. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man who is incredibly, can be very incredibly disorganized. So it's like the worst combo. Like, I'm gonna do all these things, and my brain is now overwhelmed. I need to get better at saying no to people. That's what I need to be better at doing. Daniel's like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go. Let's go. Have you got time? Absolutely not, but I ain't going to leave you high and dry. Let's go. How's the packing going? I know you said you've obviously got a work trip next week. Is it throwing things really out of whack, or is it just more of a, okay, I've got to, instead of organising my boxes, I've just got to throw stuff in boxes and organise it on the other end? And I am disorganized. I'm looking to set up a localized assistant on my PC. I like that. Like, tell me what to do. Yeah, I feel like I live so much of my life through various calendars and reminders on my phone. So without certain reminders on my phone or certain emails that go off like certain something, I'd be lost on birthdays without Moonpig. The Moonpig reminders help me out so much. Man, I was really, really shaky then. It just really messed up a lot of that. And that's right. It's all sorted now. It's basically a non-cloud service AI construct. Free of ethical issues. That works. If it just runs on Surface, doesn't it? A lot less better with data privacy and less issues with environmental usage, isn't it? If it's just running locally, which is good. Yeah, on-prem ones they're not as fast, but they're more environmentally friendly, which is good because it just uses your own VRAM, doesn't it? Just a kind of power, which is like that's all right. My computer can run a little bit slow for me to get this done. But also tomorrow, keep your eye out for in the Discord. We will be announcing the next Painting Palooza. So watch this space. And it'll be going out mainly because I don't want to do an at everyone after stream because it's going to be late. So I'll post it tomorrow. I was in such a rush to get home to get ready for the watch along. I forgot to post it earlier in the day. So next Painting Palooza for May, and you guys we'll chat more about it on Sunday stream as well. But there'll be officially, you guys will get five nearly 6 weeks of time to do it. So you're getting a nice big window to do things, which is good. So I'm like, yeah. Not sure which I would use yet, but yes, local single user ones there. It doesn't wreck the environment. It doesn't trade. Yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah, the training on the copyright stuff's wild. Yeah, it's one of the things I have to constantly battle on the web store. It's just like people letting me know, just like, hey, what what protections have you got for this? And it's like, well, especially with things like Meshy and stuff now being so prevalent in the communities, the wider community of people just going, oh yeah, it doesn't bother me that I steal this person's 2D image from their website and then I'm just going to create the model and print it myself. It's like, no, like, it's really bad. It's all so many wrong levels of theft. And as the person who obviously has the stuff listed on the web store, I don't want angry creators getting annoyed at me going, oh, we traced about this, took it from your web store. So I've got so many protections I have to take. Which I have to admit, one of the biggest ones is using Cloudflare. Definitely helped a lot, because obviously they're really like, nope, you will not take the data. They're a lot better at blocking AI scrapers. So non-AI scrapers got to worry about. Yeah, it's definitely a tricky thing. There's so many amazing artists out there, and I'm just like, I just want to support your work. To be fair, I say that I haven't painted anything on stream from the web store in a while because GW just keep releasing damn good models all the time. It's like, stop releasing absolute like killer sculpts that you want me to paint up that I also want to paint. But I know on our agenda this month we do have the Warped Miniatures minis, which I'm very excited about. Which is going to be fun. Dum, dum. And this always makes me think though is that I haven't played Space Marine 2 in a while, and I'm like, there's been so many new additions, and they're just about to drop another update actually, which is going to add some really nice quality of life changes. plus a big Iron Hands upgrade pack, which does make me like, ooh, Iron Hands. Let's just block out these two-tone reds. Nearly blocked out. I just really want my own version of Jarvis. Yeah, complete with Paul Bettany. That's what I want. I feel like if I'm going to have a at-home version of Jarvis, I want it to also be Paul Bettany. or have like 3 different ones, but it's just Heath Ledger, Alan Tudyk, and oh no, where did that go? I just put my finger in red, and I don't know where I then touched. There you go, that popped off now. Basically, yeah, the main cast from The Knight's Tale. That's what I like, have them all as just like arguing with each other would be really funny. So their voices like, hey. Do. Which reminds me, actually, I need to find out whether I can watch more seasons of Resident Alien. Because I've watched the first 2 seasons that were on Netflix, and I don't know where the next seasons are. I need to watch that. I want to find out what the rest of the seasons are. It's such a good show. It's so funny. If you guys haven't seen it, it's really good. It's just Alan Tudyk. So funny. I have a local AI server that I've been playing with that I have multiple models on with different strengths and creative writing support, image generation, code debugging. Well, I'll have to play around with it, giving it a voice and a VTuber face. Which VTuber would you pick as an inspiration? Or would you not? Would you be like, nah? I feel like I'm very late to the party, but I've only in recent months, well, probably in the last 6+ months, just kind of caught up on loads of Iron Mouse content. Just finding Iron Mouse hilarious. I was very behind on the whole VTuber phases. But I'm very much enjoying. They're so funny. Just the chaos and the hilariousness is just so good. Localized ones are where people should be focused. Yeah, they're much more. I think it's a tricky thing, isn't it? Because it's still sometimes a lot of them, even if they have to eventually at some point be updated or created from it, there's still like that level of, is the code base, you know. There was the thing, actually. It was an interesting conversation. There was the thing from Guy at Midwinter Minis recently, didn't they? Where they kind of announced like a Warhammer friendly sort of like local AI buddy that and he got quite a lot of backlash for it. He ended up taking the original video down and then did like kind of like a very candid sort of apology chat video where there's a big conversation in there about ethics of AI, which I thought was kind of interesting. Though he handled that very well about how it approaches from like from the miniature painting community. It was an interesting topic. It's I thought the way he handled it was quite interesting. Like very just sort of open and like, well, okay. And that was him using a local AI. I'm using one of the creative writer one to help me flesh out characters over the game I'm working on. I've no idea how to transfer that to words and scripts. No, not a clue. Not a clue on my end. Yeah. And I haven't written in years. I used to write quite a lot. I don't write anymore. Okay, I feel like the closest I've done to any form of creative writing was writing out the lore behind a couple of my diorama pieces I've built for Warhammer, like painting wise. I used to write quite a lot. Like, yeah, I'm talking over 10 years ago. I used to write a lot. Just don't do it anymore. I don't think I don't really know the reason why. I just stopped. It's a shame, actually. I used to enjoy it. But someone whose spelling is absolutely atrocious. I did write a lot. I have to use an LLM at work, and I'm not keen on it. I'm reading a lot lately, but I don't know how you can localize it. It's a tricky thing, isn't it? Especially like there's so many. It's such a hot button topic in certain businesses about just going, you need to use this more. You need to use this more. I feel like it's tricky. It's a tricky thing, isn't it? Especially, and you know, there's so many people who are just throwing random LLMs into their like environments, and you're sort of like, yeah, think this through a little bit better, please. But yeah. Was it was it China? China have just made a law that companies can't fire people and replace them with AI this week. I remember I saw something about that. They made it it's now against the law to fire somebody with the intention to replace them with AI. Which I thought that's interesting. It's a strong move. Which I thought was very, very interesting on their part to put that into place. So I was like, oh, okay. Oops. Where did I put the guy with the front banner? I did it in the dark red. Cool. Then immediately put my brush in the wrong one. The West will immediately do the opposite. Yeah. They were there from the capitalism side, like, woohoo! Let's make more money and then get our costs down, right? Let's just fill this slot in here. I'm going to have to do some neatening up on this. I don't know what's wrong. My hands are a little bit on the shaky side. Probably because I haven't actually eaten. I've just thought, actually, I haven't really eaten much today. That might be the case. Maybe I need to go eat. Yeah, I've had some stuff, but not loads. Doing a bad job of taking care of myself, is what I'm hearing. is what I'm doing to myself. Okay, red. Although we're getting slowly there with these. And which is good. So, what if with what they're doing with 11th edition, so with 40k, is that everybody's codexes are still going to be valid when the new edition launches until obviously a new codex comes out. Is anybody going to use this as an opportunity with the new edition next when it drops next month to maybe look at starting a new army, something different, maybe something orky, given all the cool reveals they announced today? I've only had breakfast and Skull Crusher coffee. Skull Crusher. I had it a couple of times. It definitely blows your brain a little bit, but it's not too bad. I went into a like my favorite like local coffee shop the other week, and was like, I've just ran out of beans at home, so like for the grinder. So I was like, oh, they do nice coffee here. Ooh, I like the flavour notes of this one. And you know when they don't have the price on it, and then you get to the front, and it was a prime example of me going, And they were like this small like a bag of beans, and they were like, "Yep, cool. Just tap here," and you go, "Yep, sure, no worries." And then you sort of you wander off, and you go, "I'm sorry, how much was that?" And you just realize I paid £20 for a bag of coffee beans, and I was like, it was like panic mode, like, oh, I've just spent so much money on coffee beans. Oh no, 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 no! So I'm like savoring every cup. I was like, what? I was just like, la 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 la, just excited, reading the thing, boop it. I was like, I've never spent that much money on coffee beans in my life. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're very nice coffee beans, but I'm just sort of like, nah, no, not again. And his bag of Skull Crusher was £20, so it was 500 grams. Mine was not a 500-gram bag of beans. That was the problem. It was a 250-gram bag of beans. It's very nice, but it's just like, I was like, makes Warhammer sound cheap. I could get if I was slightly more responsible with my money and didn't buy Magic the Gathering and Warhammer all the time. I would be one of those guys who's really into his coffee. I love the theory behind coffee. I love drinking coffee. I really, really enjoy it. I feel like I'd end up being like, I'd have one of those. I have some really fancy machine, and be like, ooh. But alas, I will spend my money on irresponsibly on cardboard crack and plastic crack. And let's get this in here. I'm incredibly messy on this cloak. Maybe that is a sign that my hands are too shaky. Stay. Stay. With a cardboard crack is proper better for your health wise. Nah. I need to consume my 25 cups of coffee a day. I kid. Although I used to be that bad. I used to drink a ridiculous amount of coffee a day. I'm not as bad anymore. Yeah, I used to drink an awful lot of coffee. Probably talking, I was in the double-digit cups a day, pretty normally. Definitely better now. No, there was a problem with it. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the taste and the flavor, and enjoy coffee. It's just so I was like, ooh, drink all the coffee I can. Why, hello! Hello, Sif, how you doing? Oh no! Oh no! I wrecked the case, Daddy. I wrecked the case. Yes, you did, Jack. Yes, you did. Oh no! Oh, Sith. Why do you torture yourself so? It's so damn good. I need to catch up. I'm behind on the latest season of Evolution. Corona Minds Evolution for it. I need to catch up. We've only just got Disney Plus back because we tend to cancel it if there's not anything we're watching, like kind of if we're not watching it. Try and get better into the habit of going, well, there's nothing coming out for a few months. Let's just cancel this and save a bit of money. It always comes around so fast. It is, isn't it? It's wild how quick that creeps up. It's like, what? How are you doing though, Sith? How's your day going? I hope you're doing all right. What did you think of the preview? If you watched any of it, the 40k stuff. There we go. And have you got? Are you working much over the bank holiday weekend, Sith, or have you got some nice time off? Or was it at least hopefully some shorter hours? Yeah, it all looks pretty cool. I'll have a proper look at it before we go to bed. That's fair. Yeah, there's some cool stuff on it. I think it was exactly what they said it was going to be for the preview. They opened the box, they talked about the box, they showed off some of the models painted up, and then went, cool, right, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you soon. I kind of guess I was slightly hoping for some sort of like teaser about something else, but that wasn't advertised, so I'm not mad about it. And let's blocked in this shoulder pad blocked in on here. This feels like very dramatic music for painting in a shoulder pad. Like, oh. And my day has been okay-ish. Chewy spicy brain mode. I suddenly remembered I have a GoPro and then didn't know where it was, which simply got a mad rage going around the house trying to find it. I did not. Oh no, but I did tidy a bunch of stuff. That happens to me so often. Where I'm like, where's this thing? I know I have this thing. Where is this thing? And then you kind of like rage clean, if that makes sense. And I find like when I rage clean, I then get annoyed at other stuff I found that isn't where I thought it was, if that makes sense. And I'm just like, why is this here? This isn't where it should be. It should be over here. Then you just kind of get overstimulated and wound up. Like past me. Like, why did I do this badly? Feel very spicy brainy. I'm like, Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. That's it. See, I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah, the rage spicy brain. And gets us all in the end. It's like coming for us. It's gonna get us all. Dun, 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 dun. Sounds so ominous. And in those case, she was able to say, I have your GoPro to get my place clean, but honestly I hope you find it. Luckily Kerry video called me to stop me going to full Hulk rage and more focus clean, but that's fair. It's like one of those like, don't know where it is, and then someone just calls you and disarms you a little bit. My brother used to be really good at doing that, because I would get mad and I would just be like, I'd yell to sort of something. Usually I'd yell like, Jesus Christ, or something like that. And then my brother would go, you rang, and just make me like fall into laughter no matter what happens. It was all of those. He just knew exactly how to like, yeah, okay, fine. Like, I can't be mad now, that just made me laugh. Then you still got the adrenaline going, haven't you? But then you're just like, well, let me put this to good use another way. No worries, newbie. We will catch you later, my friend. Good luck with the rest of your packing. Don't overstress too much, and if I don't speak to you beforehand, have a wonderful work trip away next week. Dun, 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 dun. Red, 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 red. Now I'm going to pop it off the base to get the undercloak. I just got a VR Wipeout clone off Steam. Oh, I bet it's going to be making me say, oh, good lord. Well, like a total Wipeout style one? Then you're just going to be like, oh no. I love the old 70s and early 80s Hulk cartoon with new opening credits of him stamping on the ground and it cracks. Ooh. Like, ah! Wipeout the racing game. Oh, that one. Right, okay, with you now. I thought for some reason my brain was like, VR Total Wipeout clone sounds hilarious. I was like, yeah, but I'm with you now. My brain was like, what? And well, it reminds me actually, this song playing, this Destiny tune, there's a Humble Bundle on at the moment. If anybody's ever been tempted to play Destiny, there's a Humble Bundle on at the minute for about, I think it's 25 quid and some and a few pennies. You can get the entire backlog of Destiny 2. So you're talking all the way up to the current expansion for like 25 quid, and all the money goes to the Destiny Foundation, which is one of their charities, which is quite a good bundle to pick up if you've ever been tempted to play it. Obviously it's PC only, but it's the cheapest I've ever seen it. I mean, Destiny itself is by and large a free to play game, but this is all of the expansions and a few other bits and a couple of dungeon passes and various bits. So, which is an interesting one. So, as someone who has always been a massive fan of Destiny, I say always, but since Beyond Light, I threw thousands of hours literally into that game, and I adored it. I haven't played it much since the Final Shape ended, because I think it was kind of that time a lot of us all took a bit of a break in our raid group and things, and it's a few people bounced back. I just was one of the ones who didn't quite, but I can't knock that. Sometimes I do miss playing it. Are there enough players? I mean, that would be an interesting thing. I don't know what the player count is. It's definitely low. Player count. Currently, right now, there is about 12,000 people playing it on Steam. So, yeah, there's still someone there. Hey, No Sad Nomad, how are you? How are you doing? So it's definitely low. Which is a sad bit. It's definitely hitting lower figures. Something needs to happen with it. It's always kind of peaked and troughed, but this is something else. So, oh, sorry to hear that you're the sad one, Nomad. Fingers crossed we can put a smile on your face, or at least provide a distraction for you today. Let's hope that's the goal. And always remember the immortal words of Tom Hanks: "This too shall pass." Not much of a pickup group gamer, so we need to form a gaming club. I feel like D2 is one of the ones where I played a lot of it solo, but it is better when you can do raids and stuff with friends. It's kind of where I'm weirdly at with World of Warcraft again. I love spending hours just running around on WoW and just doing some solo stuff, but eventually you do hit that wall where you're like, right, I need to find a group, I want to go do some dungeons or instances and things, and then it's like, right, I gotta find people now. I think when you've got a regular group, it's great. Sometimes, though, when you don't, it can feel a little bit like, ah. So, played some tabletop games then. Got smoked in 2 games before the second round was done. Feels bad, man. Gale Space Marine and Necrons are dumb. Ooh. Was that, was there any lessons learned from that in terms of, like, deployment or, army composition that might help? That not happen again? I've been there so many times where you play a game and then it's like, ah, great, got shot off the board turn 1 because I was going up against really aggressive player and I deployed badly and things like that. That happens to us all. But yeah, it's kind of, was there any sort of lessons learned from it that could have helped? That's always how I try and look at it when I have a bad game. But saying that, was it still an enjoyable game, or was it a non-enjoyable game? Because some of the times where I've been like tabled by end of turn 2 have been some of the funniest games, and some of the stories that come out of it are so good. So, wow. Phobos is suboptimal, plus there isn't a single place on the board that Possessed can't get to you. Can they not? I haven't played much of the of 10th, so the Possessed really bonkers. Well, just in melee, just getting to you. I suppose, yeah, anything heavy melee like Possessed will hit hard. It's a shame because I love Phobos models because I think they are gorgeous. So yeah, I think the Phobos kit is some really, really nice stuff. What Phobos models were you running? I suppose a new edition next month, so you might get some buffs. Who knows? Especially with terrain being a much more valid point, the Phobos stuff's going to be a little bit stronger there, I think. With terrain now being like you're on terrain for objectives, you'll inevitably get some bonuses being in a more stealthy armored set. So I think hopefully there'll be some upsides there coming your way. Do. I'm in there. Undecided there, done. And then now just the darker part, which I need to put a little bit more on the wet palette. I'll do this cloak on here. Get this one done. I'm liking this two-tone red that we've gone for. The slightly more like purpley red on the outer/inner cloak, because it's like what folds over. And then the more kind of standard Custodes, kind of brighter red, you kind of expect to see in the middle part of it. And then we'll do the stippling like we did on the first one, and kind of really ramp that up a little bit just to build up the colour palette, which I think would be nice. Let's just put in the base colours for now. Some of these might need a second coat, but hopefully if we're stippling on, it's just going to add to that kind of grainy cloak texture. And get this blocked on. But now I'm pretty happy with the reveals overall today. I think the Orcs looks absolutely bonkersly good. And I think the Marines actually had some really nice sculpts in there. It's interesting that Gravis Eradicator is now going to be able to take heavy bolters. I think that's an interesting choice. They're going to be able to take them. I think like the fact that they all get blast is cool as well if they're shooting large infantry squads. I think that is a good move. Like a heavy bolter with blast is really interesting, and to me I'm like, ooh. And obviously we got a sneak peek at one of the new rules, which is Cleave, which is a melee weapon where if you are hitting a larger infantry squad, then you know, a kind of an unusually large squad, you get bonus attacks, or you effectively get blast on a melee weapon. Is kind of how it works, which I think is a cool way of doing it. I usually run infiltrators, one squad of curses, even if I have the support of an Invictor Warsuit. But it didn't do much of anything between bad rolls, possessed getting their 6-inch scout moves, enhancement 9 move, and then 3 dozen melee attacks and whatever else. I usually find some sort of silver lining from losses, but today left me feeling disillusioned from the hobby entirely. You know what? I have so been there. I've had it before where I played a game with somebody and it was just such a non-enjoyable game that I was just like, you know what, I'm taking a break. And I took an 18-month break from the hobby in the end. I took a long break, and it was one of the best things I ever did, because it kind of got me a little bit more like, okay, what do I want out of this as an enjoyment side of it? For it. I suppose my question there is, if you're running an Invicta kind of Warsuit Phobos list, you're not running a heavy meta list at that point, but you're going up against a very meta army. Like, you know, that's the, you know, they're lists that do very well in events with, like, Possessed and things. What is your, like, local group like? Was there, like, a Rule Zero kind of conversation where you have at the start of going, what's kind of, like, the power we're playing of our, like, lists? Or did you kind of know in advance, or was this just a bad, unfortunate matchup? Because I think that's the rock, paper, scissors of it sometimes, isn't it? If you're a more shooty army and you go up against a melee army, the melee will inevitably squish you if they can get up the board. Which is kind of a little bit of a downer, but it sometimes is what it is, isn't it? And hey, Hobby Core, welcome on in. How are you doing? How are we today? Wow. Come on, you pop off the base. I don't you want to pop off the base. The others did. Bent the spear now. Oh no. Oh, snapped his hand. Oh, great. Snapped the spear off. That was not good. Come here, you. Come off the base. Why are you not coming off? All of the others just nice and easily popped off. Why are you not? There it is. The other part. Come on. There we go. Cool. Glue the hands back on in a mo. Let's do the underside first. So my opponent said one unit had an enhancement and I deployed my unit. Then they said they made a mistake and it was the other unit that got the 6-inch scout. So I'm like, well, that happens. But what would have changed? That would have changed my entire deployment. Did they let you take that back? Was there the opportunity for you to redeploy? Because in that case, if this is a non-tournament, this is just a bit of a fun game, you know, a local gaming club, I 100% would have gone, yeah, sorry, I've actually messed up. This is the one with the scout. Would you like to take your deployment back and kind of redeploy? Because I've given inaccurate information. They did not let you take it back. I think, unfortunately, then, you do not play that person anymore. If I was in your shoes, I have had that before where, you know, somebody goes, oh, actually, sorry, yeah, I got that slightly wrong. And because it's public-based information, You know, and if they turn around and go, nah, I will just not play that person. I've done it before where I've been at an event, and basically, I've it's been like a week-long campaign at a weekly game campaign at a gaming store. I've had a really bad experience because of somebody doing exactly that, basically saying, oh yeah, this is how this works, and then they go, no, this is actually how it works, and I goes, well, that's not the information you told me, and they made a sarcastic remark, well, it's not my fault that you don't know my army. And I've just gone, okay, cool. So the next time I got matched up with them, I went, you can have the victory. And they were like, what? I came here to play. I went, yep, I came here to play, but I wanted to play fair games. You want to win no matter what, so here's your win. And they just sort of look at you a bit awkwardly, and then it definitely changed their attitude locally eventually. They realised that people just didn't want to play them anymore, because they were just constantly doing stuff like that. And I'm really sorry that that's happened to you. That sucks. It really sucks. I think that it just is just somebody... They gave you incorrect information. It sounds to me like no matter which way round that had been done, they were going to pull some sort of shenanigans like that. And the worst part is that they didn't let you take it back. Is just that's just going to put you in like on the back foot and in a real sour mood for no matter what happens in the rest of the game. That really sucks. And I found at that point I'd end up just kind of mentally checking out the game, like, nah, I got no interest in that. So, if that person who did that is randomly watching this, or you're a person who has done that, shame on you. Shame on you. If you've given the wrong information to somebody, and then they make a decision based on that wrong information, and it's to your advantage that happened, and then you don't let them replay their move. And I'm not talking like you gave them the wrong information 5 turns ago. I'm talking like you gave them the wrong information in the last couple of minutes. Then you're a bad people. You're a bad person. It would have changed my entire deployment. Eliminators got taken out round 1. Lancer didn't do anything for both games. Shan even targeting light to medium infantry wasn't nearly effective enough and take out a squad, let alone a leader unit. The problem there is the trust is immediately gone. If somebody does that to me, my immediate thing would be I would be that annoying person who makes them get the codex out for every single rule. I'd be like, get your codex out. Have you got your FAQs with you? You've just given me false information intentionally is how I would read that. I'm like, come on, him. No, and if that's how you want to play the game, that's how we're playing the game, right? I give it to them exactly the same way. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. You know, like, we all have bad games, but when you play against a bad opponent, it hits harder, and I can get that kind of, you check out by the end of the turn, because you're just like, okay. And then all of a sudden, it kind of starts that every decision they make, every roll of the dice, everything just happens to perfectly counter everything you're doing, or just be just enough with bonuses to take out, the biggest threats and things. My brain at that point is like, I've got no trust for this opponent. It's one of those. Ooh, thank you for the posture check and the stretch, Weeaboo. I'm just going to glue this back on first. And I think we've all been there, haven't we? Like, it's what we call somebody who's a win at all costs person. That's not... A competitive person is not a bad person to play against, but somebody who will do whatever they can to win, like stuff like that, and cheap shots and kind of, let's face it, breaking my own language rule, dick moves. Yeah, they ain't worth it. Thank you for the stretch and the posture check. Yeah, it's just checked out by the end of round 1 for both games. Sort of fed up with things for the day by the end of round 2, and you have those sometimes. 100%.
For gosh sake, watch your language.
Thank you, Sith. I was waiting for it. I was like, broke my own rule, but I feel it's the only way to describe that. Thank you, Sith. Just, yeah, that really sucks. It genuinely sucks. Because it's just like, you're just not going to have a good time then, are you? Because like the person you're playing is just going to be like, just not fun. And that's what we're there to do, right? I mean, ultimately there is going to be a winner, there is going to be a loser, right? That's the way of the game. Sometimes there won't be someone to draw. But we're there to roll dice and enjoy it and have fun. You don't need to win. If you need to win that badly, trust me, therapy is probably cheaper than a Warhammer army. If you're going to win that badly, you're going to cheat. Because that's kind of it. They gave you wrong information, and then when you acted upon that information, it was to their advantage, and they didn't let you retract your move. Yeah. It would be very different if they gave you the list at the start, went through, because when I put my army on the table, I go, this has got this has got that, that's got this. Here's my list if you want to confirm. Do you have any questions? I'm very like upfront with how I play my games for it, that sort of side of it. And even then, if I'm only playing like a friendly game with friends and they deploy badly, I'm like, I can see your guy, by the way. Do you want to just shove it around the corner or something? I really want to play more, but people put me off. That is it, yeah. That you do. I think you do get that sometimes. Not everyone. I will stand by this. Not everyone is that way. I honestly mean it. Not everyone is that way, but there is one of those people at pretty much every game shop or game club, and that's the problem. And those stories are enough to put good players and good people off because they've had them and they're like, oh, and that's always the downside for it. And that's kind of what happened with the Warhammer the Fantasy. There was just a very toxic community that didn't like other outsiders and played by their own rules and were very cliquey. And then the game eventually was blown up as a result. And now Age of Sigmar is a phenomenally great community to play a part of. Sometimes you gotta burn it all down. I think I'm going to step away from the hobby for a while. I've changed my list a few dozen times, scrubbed rules, changed up units, changed tactics. I've even played KG, played aggressive. Can't seem to catch a break and I don't get it. Maybe Ravenguard and Shadowmark isn't as great as people checked it up to be, and a Phobos-centric detachment is just not passing the bar. I think, you know what, even if you took the next 4 weeks off, in next month there is a whole new edition coming with a whole new set of rules. Take a breather until then, and that's completely reasonable to do. And then if you're not feeling it when the new sets of rules, that's also fine. At that point, I normally tend to have a think to myself, is it the army? Or is it me? Is it the people I'm playing? And then I'll like take a breather and decide what I want to do. Ultimately, this is a hobby, and if you're going to invest your time into it, you want to enjoy it. We all have bad days. That's very human. We're all that very, very round. I would just say don't make any rash decisions. In the example I gave before where I played this game with this person, it was just an awful game. They were constantly just, I'd let them take something back, and they wouldn't let me do it. I was agreeing with them on stuff, and they were arguing with me because they just wanted to argue. They were making it an intentionally non-enjoyable game. I made a rash decision when I came out of that. I went, you know what, I'm done with this hobby. And I sold one of my armies, which I regret so much to this day, in a very knee-jerk reaction. To be like, yeah, I'm done, I ain't playing anymore, if that's the type of people who are, who it was. So, don't make any rash decisions if you can avoid it. But like I said, brand new edition coming out. Everyone's going to be on the same playing field next month. It's a good time to take a breather until then. I make mistakes with rules, but you're trying to make amends. But I agree that if you have someone that does that in a way that you just don't play them as they're robbing your enjoyment, I think that's why I stopped playing in bolt action tournaments. That's a fair point. Very fair point. I think that's it. Like, that sounds to me like that's somebody who, no matter what you did, they were going to pull a move like that, which is really unfortunate. That you came across somebody like that. But I promise you, not everyone is like that. But we all go through these kind of dry spells without a win. I think there was a point where, for the whole of which edition was it? I think it was 9th edition. I think the whole of 9th edition, I didn't win a match. I didn't win a game at all. And I did get really I'm not there to win, but I was not having a great time, which is probably why I didn't play much in 10th. 8th edition, though, I was rocking it. I loved 8th edition. And I don't think it was the edition was the problem. It was just the way I was running my army, or the rules didn't click as well with me and things like that. And so I took a step back from gaming, which I've been trying to get back into. And this is a couple of years later now. Strangely enough, my only win in Shadowmark, Talon, and only 2 Phobos units in it was a Vanguard Vets, JPI's Terminators, and Heavy Intercessors that won the day. So maybe I have to review my deployment methods. Deployment is something I think is such a skill. People who deploy well are the people who win the game. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And sometimes a really simple mistake when deploying is enough to cost you the game. Unless you can somehow bounce back, or your opponent makes a similar mistake. I think it's one of those skills that is overlooked to kind of learn and develop, but it's also one of the hardest ones to try and do because you've got to analyze the board, you've got to know your opponent, and in your case, even if you deployed fantastically, they gave you the wrong information. It's a tricky situation. But yeah, I feel like, taking a step back, taking a breather, isn't a bad thing. If you've got someone you can play with, try a few deployment tactics in games on something like Tabletop Simulator. That's always a really good one. One of my friends does that. If he has it, he almost like replays the game a bit to kind of think like, what could I do differently? If I feel like I'm having a really rough game or a really good game, works both ways. Sometimes I'll like take a picture of the board at random states and just go, could I have done something better here? And then I'll put those into Tabletop Simulator and go, right, could I have recreate it, or I'll recreate it at home or something and be like, how could I have done that better? I haven't had to do it for years because I haven't really played in events or tournaments in a long time. But I used to be like, if I make a mistake, I've got to learn. Very visual learner. I'm not saying you have to go to that effort of just trying to give ideas of what I've done in the past, if that helps in any way. Probably thinking, this guy's a madman. Gave himself homework to do after playing Warhammer. He's an idiot. And you're right. I am an idiot. So, yeah. Man, Necrons are worse than Chaos Space Marines. Lancer still didn't do anything. What units I did damage, it was healed with reanimation protocols. Today was the first for me. I had a net negative of 1 in melee. Oof. Yeah, sometimes the way that goes. I remember having a game against Super Weasel in the chat. And when it's like, okay, cool, that game's you've done your melee. Let me do my reanimation rolls. And when you roll and you go, I cannot quite believe that everything on in that squad is getting back up. And it's just sometimes the way it goes. But you almost feel, as the person who was the Necron player, I felt so bad. I was like, I feel dirty. Yeah, sometimes the way it goes. It's an interesting point. That you are, they're a feeling that you have to pick the right army with the right units. You cannot seem to have fun with the units that you build selectively or set menu because those are the only ones you can afford. I think it's one of those, and I think that's why the rule 0 is incredibly important. And I think this is something that happens in any game system that you play. Is that a rule 0 of it happens? We do it a lot, and we use it as an important thing in trading cards. It's an important thing in Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. But I don't think it's talked about enough in wargaming. But I think it is important. What are we playing today? And I'm very lucky that I have a lot of people locally who play at very different levels. But who can play at different levels. And I might say to them, I'm testing out a new list. It's a fun list. Not fussed on playing it against anything good. What do you want to run? And they'll go, I'll bring a cheeky, silly list as well. And you have a laugh and you have a great time. Or it might be the other way around where they say to me, hey, I want to run I've got a list for a tournament I'm prepping. Could you bring a list and a game to play? An army so I can play against you? And I'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. And I know going into that, that's the type of game I'm playing. And I think that's really important. TTS is so good. 100%, yeah. It's such good use for that. What are my curses using in melee? Defib panels. How are there more Necrons in the unit than I started with? I know, that's a wild one. I think it's and curses are the idea being that they're really just there to hold objectives, aren't they? But they're not. As soon as somebody gets into melee with them, you're right, they're totally squishy. But they have their advantages that they're fast and they can place the haywire mines down depending on if you've taken them or not. So it's kind of making them think, I won't come towards you because I'm going to take some mortal wounds. I can't talk for 40k, but I don't play. But I don't think that they are right armies or right units. Given utter noob top table meta list versus a solid veteran player with an average list, the meta list doesn't win. I 100%. 100. I think there is a belief, and this is something that I've played against somebody in this case, that they wanted to be good at the game. So they went online, found out what had won the most recent grand tournament, bought all the models, ran that list, and played it against me, and lost. And they had the biggest crash out because I'm running this, and it's like, yeah, but knowing how to run it is so different to just taking it off the shelf and thinking it's great. And I think that's one of the important things, and that can be a frustrating learning curve. So normally if I have a list, I stick with that list, right or wrong, for a fair few games, and until I start tailoring what happened, what died really quickly, what didn't die, what actually did nothing that game. Try and take the statistical dice rolling out of it. Custodies are a great example. My Custodies list for 8th edition on paper shouldn't work. But I knew the list like the back of my hand. I knew all the abilities, which stratagems to apply, what was good, why they ran it that way, and I eventually got better and better, and I ended up doing a 12-week ladder campaign undefeated at my local Warhammer shop. That's the biggest achievement I've ever had with that list. But on paper, my list shouldn't work. It wasn't running the optimal units. It wasn't running the stuff that everyone was saying to run. And it's kind of like, I'm just after having a laugh and having a good time. But I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Sith. Like, playing more and learning from the wins and the losses is such an important part of the hobby. But I fully get that sometimes it can feel like a bit of a knock. If it's loss after loss after loss. In any case, time to take a step back and review stuff, just paint models. Hell yeah, that's it. There's so much more to the hobby than just gaming. Just have fun with your hobby. If gaming isn't doing it, don't let it bring you down the other bits of the hobby. 100%. That's why I said to myself. I said before myself, didn't I? Is that I kind of stopped. I wasn't enjoying the gaming side for a while. Not really any reason. Just there was some local people I didn't really like playing, but also I didn't really have the time to game. And I have now just basically thrown myself way more into the painting, and really, really loving and enjoying it. There is a little part of me that wants to get back to doing some gaming, and I think I'm kind of at that point where I'm ready. But yeah, luckily, there's so much to this hobby, which is really cool. Sorry, I feel like I went on a full-blown ramble there. I hope it helped. If we got an Apocalypse Party game as a sort of going away party for one of our group members, I think I'll show up for that and then just play and take a hiatus. That's fair. Like I said, especially if 40k is your game, next month, end of June, new edition of 40k. That's always a good reset point. Because you can read up on, did your army come out on top? Did it not come out on top? New stuff to tweak in with your list. I mean, they just announced a load of new Space Marines today. They give us hints that there's going to be some cool new rules. I mean, and for a Phobos list as well, it's probably going to be quite beneficial because of how important terrain's going to be in the new edition. Plus all the rules where they've said, models are more protected from further away and things like that. I think it sounds to me like your playstyle will probably have some fun in the new edition. But either way, I'm sorry you've had a bad experience playing the game. I hope knowing, it might sound a bit weird, I hope knowing that you're not alone on that part of the journey. A lot of other people have faced that or are facing it right now. It helps. Don't know if it will, but I hope it does. And, taking a breather. Same as anything. You're not enjoying something. Take a step back from it, right? Hobby is no different. I've got 3 tournaments, well 4 if you count the one I'm running lined up this year. This is coming from a no gaming all last year. Hell yes! Taking a break, it was a good time. This is why I'm playing STFC, as my health is so distracting. I need something that where I don't think I need to think much. That's exactly it. Whatever with everything else going on in your in your lives and that, you just sometimes need to know. I want to do something different. It's like right now, I haven't got a really big RPG kind of game going on, video game going on at all, and I'm not really playing World of Warcraft at the minute. I just need some sort of a nice not enjoyable. I need a non-concentrated, semi-concentrated game. So I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire. Disassociating winning from fun is one of the best things you can do for yourself and your opponents. Yes, that's I one of the most fun games I've ever had of 40k was against who was the world number 1 at the time, was against Manny, and I got absolutely decimated in a turn. but it was hilarious, and I learned so much. I've had so many games as well against Ape of Justice in the community, who is probably one of the most phenomenal players of Warhammer, and the most patient players of Warhammer I've ever had the joy of playing. Yeah, he's thrashed me, but it's been phenomenal. It's been such good fun. Like a good opponent is a good thing to find. And I've even had it before where I've been on a hot streak. My dice rolls have just been absolute fire, and I can tell that my opponent's not having a good time. And in the middle of the game, I've said to them before, "It's like, should we go for a breather and grab a coffee around the corner?" And I've said to the guy in the shop, "Oh yeah, are we alright to leave this here for 10 minutes and that?" We've gone, we've had a coffee and a chat, shaking it off, sort of thing, and gone back and even had the conversation of, do you want to carry on? If you're not enjoying it, I don't ever want to play someone who's not enjoying it. And they've really appreciated the break, and sometimes they've even said, "Yeah, you know what, I just don't think I'm in it today. I'm sorry you're not going to get to game." And I'm like, "Hey, don't bother me. We're only playing a bit of fun, and I would rather make sure the person I'm playing is having fun." Aim of the hobby is fun, not victory. Victory is just a nice perk, if it comes at the right cost. What the person you played today did, they wanted victory at all costs, and they're a bit of a bum. Yeah, victory is life. Not quite what we were going for. But yes, but no, yeah, victory is it. Victory is life in terms of the sense of if you're living and enjoying it, isn't it? Right? You're running an event, you say? Tell me more. Oh, you're running another. I did miss that in the message. I talk about Middle Earth and Epic appears. How are we, Epic? How are you, my friend? You looking forward to your bank holiday weekend? Yeah, but I do think though, yeah, tabletop. If you're really into your gaming, tabletop simulator is a real vital tool to use. Not as in not vital. I think it's a great way to test, because you can play with friends digitally across distances. It's really good, really great. It gives you another dimension on how to analyze the board. So if gaming is your forte and you want to learn more about that, try Tabletop Simulator. Looking at the hair of the horsehair, the classic red. Speaking of events, my previous optimistic goal of painting these two armies in August has been changed. I bought a ticket to an event in July and now have to get them ready for. Even more panicked motivation, right? That's the goal. I'm not getting this done fast enough. I need to do it for an event that's sooner. Yeah, we're running our Test the Waters event after our separation. Things look positive for it so far. That's good then. That's going to be good. When's that event? And welcome to Jacob. How are you doing? And so much. Thank you for the gifted. Good. That's nice of so much. And how are you? I hope you're well. Now my brother's September 30th. There we go. Brother's visiting that week. He's making a trip out of Devon, so I thought it a bit rude of me to disappear to Birmingham for the weekend. That's fair. Plenty of time for us to get us started. That's good then. Let me know if there's anything I can help with at all. You need any more terrain or anything printing or trophies or anything like that, hit me up. Happy to help. Or just generally any moral support. Dun, 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 dun. I'm really struggling to reach this part of the... I didn't think about painting the horse head. I just put it on here really awkwardly. You'll be my first call, you Magic Bean Man. That's me, I'm the Magic Bean Man. Yeah, we need to hang out at some point soon. If my car wasn't in need of repair, I would be like I'm coming to see you. But alas, it needs to go back to the garage. Oops, and then I bend the banner. Did I get all the bits I needed? I think so. I was trying to get time off for Fen, but didn't I? No! Are you able to get over to Games Expo at all? At the end of the month? I'll hopefully see you then. I am, yeah! So at least I get to see you then. Dun, dun, dun. Right, shoulder pads. Let's go get that painting on there. Well, it was a bit of a messy paint. You know, I said like an hour and a half ago, I think my hands are a bit too shaky. I probably should take a breather and, you know, that sort of thing. And then I just locked in and painted the rest of the base layers on the cloaks and the shoulder pads. Yeah, I didn't really think that through. You need a little bit of tidying up, but that's not the worst. Hebrew Verity, you're prepared for bear hugs. Hell yeah, I hope you're prepared for a bear hug. I'm going to get you. This sounds so menacing. It sounds such a threat. I'm going to get you. I will find you. I have a particular set of skills. And... okay. We're nearly there. I think it's just the shield, captain's shield I've got to, cloak I've got to do. Which, I'm probably going to do something a little bit different on the red. Might not do the red on that for her. Might do, probably a different colour, I haven't quite decided yet. It's getting a bit messy on this shoulder pad. Neaten up the areas that are messed up a bit. That's alright. It's just happy little accidents. Not frustrating, shaky things I could have avoided. It's all the same, right? Okay, I think it's almost everything on the shoulder pads neatened up. Okie dokie, so snap her off the base. Wow. Man, these sculpts are gorgeous. Dun, 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 dun. That super glue is like proper melted onto the base. It looks more like plastic glue than super glue. I'm like, why have you melted so much? It's wild. Let's grab this on here. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to UK Games Expo this year. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I want to test out. I want to actually spend some time doing some demos. Kind of excited. I've not signed up for any events. Just looking forward to just spending some time just floating about, doing stuff. Gonna enter the competition, painting competition. Not expecting anything, but it'd be nice to enter. And I keep saying I want to enter at least one competition this year, and this would be the second, with the third one being Fen. So yeah, you know, I'm overachieving on my goals. Never expect anything. I'm not expecting to win anything at all. I know it's just more to put myself out there. Bit of confidence. And see if I can make people laugh and smile with probably some sort of Jar Jar Binks related sculpt. Potentially. Which reminds me, I probably should get the Joel Rog finished off at some point soon. Okie dokie. Right, that is shoulder pads and 2 stages of the cloaks finished on all but the shield captain, but she's going to have a separate cloak, so I don't need to do her right now. Yeah, which is nice. So that means Sunday's stream is going to be all about stippling on the details, and applying things like skin tone, all the browns and things, which is good. Yeah, I want to have a look at board games for Dandy Dinner Nights, as there's only so many times I'm willing to play all my pigeons. That's fair. That is fair. There's the bring and buy, isn't there? I think it takes place on the Friday, is it? Where people can like bring their old games that they want to get rid of. So that's always a good one to pick up some good secondhand stuff. For it. I would say there's a game there from a vendor that we've seen at a few events, and we got chatting with them when we vended at a few events. Fancrafted. They're at Games Expo. They're doing their first. They created their own their own board game called 3 Kobolds in a Trench Coat, which is really really fun. And they'll be demoing that. So that's a fun, easy, good game. Like nice, easy to pick up, not too long. It's always fun. And right, I think though, with all of these custodies, shoulder pads and everything all filled in, I think that's probably a good pause point. I think so. This stage, I believe we are going to wrap up and raid off and say hello to some wonderful magical bean people. Where are we off to? And and trying to think where we are gonna head off to, and let's see where we can go. And I think because we're going to mix it up a little bit this evening, and I think we're going to raid into somebody new, who is somebody's streams I've been enjoying. Though we are playing video games at the moment, which is fun. But I feel like we are going to raid in and say hello to somebody, and that somebody new, which is always going to be nice. So let me just switch over to the screen-a-rooney. because I never actually normally get to raid them because I'm not normally on this late on a Friday, so this will be a nice surprise. We are going to go raid over, and talking of Games Expo, somebody I met at Games Expo last year, and they've been really helpful in giving me some advice for various things. They are playing some really, really fun games. At the minute, they are just playing some Diablo 4. They've just started a brand new playthrough of Diablo 4. And it is the lovely Billy Tricks, who is playing through some Diablo, which is going to be really, really fun. So we're going to raid over and say hello to them. They are super, super fun, super chatty, which is really, really nice and super lovely. As always, when you raid into somebody playing a video game, no backseating, no spoilers, things like that. But yeah, mixing it up a little bit this evening, raiding over somebody different. But yeah, folks, thank you all so much. It has been a wonderful, wonderful stream. I really appreciate everyone chatting away and watching the preview with me. I hope you all enjoyed it. And we are going to be back on Sunday, finishing off these Custodes and cracking on with the Sunday showcase. But for now, as always, please remember to stay safe, stay positive, and above all, be an ambassador for your hobby. We will catch you all next week, everybody. Thank you. Next week? No, catch you all on Sunday. Catch you all Sunday. Yeah, have a good weekend. Bye. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for all the things and all the little subbies and everything. You're all amazing and we love you so much. Thank you, everybody. You're all awesome.